What's up, everyone? We are live here with Titans of the Tide. How's everybody doing today? So I finally figured out how to get through this. It's silly. It's such a small thing that I just didn't realize when I was going around. Hello! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome from the last stream. Hello! Welcome Dasma Koseko and Victor Gabriel Ramos Official. Welcome, welcome. How are we all doing today? How would you rate season 6? Same as season 5, better or worse? I would say off the top of my head, season 6 is worse than season 5. Season 5 has a couple of pretty low lows, for sure. But season 5 is overall really strong. Season 6 is where you start to get some real weak episodes. You know, season 6 is where you start to get. But I was watching. What was I watching today? That was season 6. It was, I believe, the episode is Gullible Pants. Is Gullible Pants season 6? Because I watched a few episodes today. I wonder if anyone can guess what all of these episodes have in common, actually. So I watched 3 episodes today, and I am watching them in preparation for a video that talks about one specific thing that happens in all of these episodes, and many others, but these are just the ones I watched today. So today I watched the episodes The Krusty Plate, Pat No Pay, which are from season 5, and Gullible Pants from, I think, season 6. Can anyone guess what those 3 episodes have in common and why I watched them today? To prepare for an upcoming video. The answer may surprise you. But anyway, Gullible Pants was season 6, and I think Gullible Pants is season 6, right? Am I correct? Was the Splinter from season 6? Yes. Yes, it is. The Splinter is season 6. Oh, yeah. They take place at the Krusty Krab. They do take place at the Krusty Krab, but there's something else that they have in common that is important. That is quite important. But Gullible Pants was really, it was a really good episode, I thought. I thought Gullible Pants was a very good episode. I messed that up. Did I make it come back? Okay, cool. Gullible Pants is indeed from season 6. Well, it's very good. It's very good. I think it's very funny. Also, I thought that episode was like such a vibe too. Like it was just like working at the. It just felt like there's a lot of episodes of SpongeBob that give you like the vibe of like working at the Krusty Krab. And I feel like that episode really did give you that vibe. You know, it just had good vibes of that, like Krusty Krab working vibes, and it had a good story. You know, it was about like, you know, Mr. Krabs was being, you know, didn't want people to know that he was going to get a manicure. And that kind of made all the stuff happen and caused the chain reaction of Squidward messing with SpongeBob, and then it all kind of ended up messing up the Krusty Krab and all that. Anyway, what those episodes all have in common is that they all, in some way, like, destroy the Krusty Krab. Because I think I'm going to do a video that is ranking all of the times that the Krusty Krab was destroyed based on how much Mr. Krabs deserved to have it destroyed. I don't know if Gullible Pants is going to count because really the Krusty Krab doesn't get destroyed. It just gets covered in garbage. So I don't think it counts. So it might not actually be on the list. But it was on the wiki as like the list of episodes where the Krusty Krab gets destroyed. I guess it counted it because I guess it counted it because it gets covered in garbage, but I don't know if I would count that. But that was why I watched it. Oh, that just came at me. They're all under 11 minutes. Feature Patrick take place at the Krusty Krab. That is true about Krusty Plate and that is interesting that is true about both Krusty Plate and Pat No Pay, is that they are both episodes that feature that are shorter episodes under 11 minutes and destroy the Krusty Krab. Isn't that interesting? Destroy the Krusty Krab in under 6 minutes. Which animation is better? 2D, 3D, live action, or stop motion? Well, live action is an animation. Better? Better, man. Stop motion is for very specific kinds of stories. Like, I wouldn't say that stop motion is, like, the best, because stop motion is only for very specific kinds of stories read in stop motion, like Rankin Bass Christmas specials, a lot of holiday specials. You know, stop motion has to have a certain kind of, it doesn't have to necessarily be a holiday special, but stop motion has to have a very certain heightened sense of reality vibe to it. 2D animation, I guess I like personally prefer. But that's probably just because I'm like more used to it. And 2D animation, I think, is a little less grounded, whereas 3D animation has to be a little more like grounded in certain reality. If that makes sense. It doesn't have to be grounded in that much reality. I mean, it's animation. It's hard to say best, you know. I'm not really a big like best of the three. I would say if the one that I prefer is 2D animation. I guess that's the thing that I like watch the most, but it usually depends on the story. Some stories are better told in 3D animation. Like, I can't imagine like Shrek not being a 3D animated movie, you know? Like, Shrek needs to be a 3D animated movie. It's just that's what Shrek is. That's its deal. Oh, just put me over here. Return to Squilliam. I don't want to return to Squilliam. Don't tell me what to do. Did I do something? Oh, why did that just send me back? That's probably just a shortcut. All right, I'll go talk to Squilliam. Where is he? There he is.
Hello? Ooh, what have we here? Seriously, what the heck is this?
Well, we have no idea.
Cool, huh?
Wait, what did I get?
Whatever.
Oh, it was the statue.
I knew it would end like this. You'll always be commoners. I mean, look at you two.
That's a valuable lesson. We look at each other all the time. Thanks, William.
That's fun. It was also destroyed in Skill Crane in Season 4. There are a lot of episodes where the Krusty Krab gets destroyed. It's going to be a very daunting video. I think it's a really good one, though, and it hasn't been done before. Like, there have been videos that are just, like, compilations of, like, every time the Krusty Krab gets destroyed, but I don't think there's ever been, like, a commentary video where someone goes through and discusses every time the Krusty Krab has been destroyed. And there definitely hasn't been one where someone goes through and discusses it from a story perspective, like how it affects the story. Because when the Krusty Krab gets destroyed, it's usually a punishment for Mr. Krabs. Like, Mr. Krabs made some mistake and got the Krusty Krab destroyed. But not always. Like, Suds... In Suds, Mr. Krabs doesn't really deserve to have the Krusty Krab destroyed, because he kind of did everything right. He told SpongeBob to, go home because he was sick. Like, that's pretty much the right thing to do as the boss. Yet the Krusty Krab still gets destroyed in that episode, but it is destroyed in a way to show that destructive things can happen if you, if you don't do the responsible thing and go to the doctor if you're sick, so it is still used for the story, but Mr. Krabs himself doesn't really deserve it. Whereas in Skill Crane, Mr. Krabs specifically bought the Skill Crane to try and, scam money out of people. That was his whole thing. So him having the Krusty Krab destroyed because he bought the Skill Crane is a little more deserved narratively. What do we got here? Oh. Gotta fight some ghosts here.
Stop that.
If modern SpongeBob released before classic SpongeBob, would your views be the same or different? Oh, that's a really interesting question. I died. If modern so like if all of the modern episodes like came first and like what we know as season 3 would be airing today. Well, I think first of all, the important thing to know, if SpongeBob had the quality of modern SpongeBob in season 1, it would not have a season 16. It wouldn't still exist. Like, the only reason that we have a season 16 of SpongeBob is because seasons 1 through 3 were as good as they were. You know, I think that's kind of important to know. You know, so if but to see through the hypothetical, if like seasons, if seasons, the early seasons were the modern seasons, and the modern seasons had the quality of the earliest seasons, no, I'd probably still be able to identify that some are good and some are bad. I think I'm objective enough in how I judge episodes that I would be able to identify that these episodes were better, or that the newer episodes are better, even though they weren't the ones that aired when I was a kid. I think I'd be able to figure that out. Because I'm able to identify when modern SpongeBob episodes are good. Like, I don't have a bias towards them being modern. I even acknowledge when I could possibly have bias, where it's just like, oh, I might just like this because it's the one that was in my childhood. I said that when I compared... Oh, I waited there too long. That was foolish of me. But that is an interesting question. Skill Crane, the Krusty Krab getting destroyed in Skill Crane was also kind of deserved for Squidward. He was the one that caused it to get destroyed, thinking to be the Crane. That is true. Squidward probably got held responsible for it. Even though Mr. Krabs, I would say, has worse morals. But yeah, SpongeBob kind of does that sometimes, and I think it's interesting. This was talked about when a lot of commenters mentioned this from my Club SpongeBob video. Because when I did my video on Club SpongeBob, I focused a lot on how SpongeBob and Patrick treated Squidward badly in Club SpongeBob. Like with the magic conch, how they like deprived him of food and stuff like that. And a lot of people did point out correctly that Squidward is flawed in Club SpongeBob as well. You know, he's very, he's very rude to SpongeBob and Patrick about the magic conch. You know, he tries to like reason with them when you kind of can't really reason with people who are acting that crazy. Bunch of stuff like that. Like, there's still flaws with it. So I think SpongeBob is actually very good at taking a situation and having someone like be in the wrong for making the situation. Like Mr. Krabs is in the wrong for having there be the crane that, you know, scams people and tricks them out of their money. But just because Mr. Krabs is in the wrong for doing that doesn't mean that you should be like Squidward and fall for it. Because people are going to try to scam you like Mr. Krabs does with the skill crane. And we can criticize people like Mr. Krabs, you know, till the cows come home. We should criticize people like Mr. Krabs. But we also need to be aware of it. It's kind of similar in Club SpongeBob where it's like, yeah, like we can criticize people who are irrational like SpongeBob and Patrick are, who believe in the magic conch and do all this terrible stuff. Like stealing Squidward's food in the magic conch. And you can criticize that, but you also have to know how to deal with it if you're on the other side of the situation. So I think Skill Crane is a great example of that, where Squidward is flawed and Mr. Krabs is flawed. They're both flawed in the episode, but for different reasons. Mr. Krabs is criticizing the system. Squidward is criticizing how you should act.
Feeder, you're not welcome here.
Oh, yeah? Maybe you'd welcome Ghost in here if I make you one.
Is there an element of class here? Is that like some classism?
I Now you've done it.
King Neptune thinking that Flying Dutchman is like a lowly pirate. That's an interesting dichotomy between the two of them.
I think now he's done it.
Keep your fishing mitts off me.
A little cloud.
Take that sockmonger. I'll show you.
Punch him in the face.
Turn my family into ghosts, will you?
How can you punch him? He's a ghost.
Kill all your soul. I'll show you who. Unhand my royal person. Ouch.
Unhand my royal person. Later. The Krusty Krab also got destroyed in Texas. Did it? Like, does that count? They really only destroyed the front. Mr. Krabs doesn't even really seem fazed by it. I think another thing when I do the video on every time the Krusty Krab is destroyed is I need to define what destroyed means. So I found on the wiki, there's on the SpongeBob wiki, there's like a whole list of all the times like the Krusty Krab was destroyed, but it didn't have every, like, it had stuff like in Big Pink Loser, Patrick throws the jar on the ground, which creates a hole. Like, that's not the Krusty Krab getting destroyed. That doesn't count. That's just, like, damage. Or, like, in Dying for Pie, when the hole gets blown in the wall because of the pie bomb. Like, that doesn't really count as the whole restaurant being destroyed. That's more of, like, a cartoon logic thing. And I want to be clear about, like, the difference of that, where, like, is the destruction of the Krusty Krab an actual consequence of the episode, or is it just cartoon logic? Is something that I want to really define. And I think Texas is more just cartoon logic, rather than it being destroyed. What's this game about, and why is SpongeBob a ghost? This game is, there is a feud between the Flying Dutchman and King Neptune, and the Flying Dutchman turned a bunch of people into ghosts, including SpongeBob, but because of the Best Friends Forever rings, SpongeBob and Patrick can switch who's a ghost and who's mortal at the same time. But I think the conflict is that one of them is stuck as a ghost, so I think the point of the game is to find a way to reverse the ghost curse so that they can both be human again. And that's why SpongeBob is a ghost. How would you feel if there was an extended version of the episode Rise and Shine where after we saw Patrick's routine, we changed to Squidward's routine, the Mr. Krabs and Pearl's routine? I've never seen Rise and Shine. I've never seen it. What is that episode? I mean, as long as it tells a good story, that's really usually my threshold for something. If it can tell a good story, then it's a good story. Didn't the Krusty Krab get destroyed in Employee of the Month as well? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one is... That one is a, you know, I wouldn't say like 100% deserved, but it's because Mr. Krabs pitted SpongeBob and Squidward against each other in Employee of the Month because he was trying to get them to work harder, and it ended up getting the Krusty Krab destroyed. So in a way, it's like his own fault, you know?
Look,
SpongeBob, I'm one of those magic lantern thingies.
Hello, just curious, why do you make your streams unlisted after they're done? That's a good question. Because it would hurt the algorithm. If I left my streams listed, then YouTube would recommend them to people when they should be recommending my long form videos, my videos that are scripted and stuff. And it just hurts the channel. Also, I take these videos and I edit them together, and I actually have them on other channels. So if you're interested in so when I finish these streams, they do go unlisted, but they're not gone forever. They take a few days to get posted, but all of my streams get put onto separate channels. They're linked in the description of this stream. One of them is called Fanelli Clips, and the other one is just called Fanelli. Fanelli Clips is for, like, shorter bits of the stream, and Fanelli is for, like, the big stuff, like my full playthrough of Battle for Bikini Bottom or the SpongeBob movie you'll find on there. Or like yesterday, I did a whole like subreddit. I was on AI Wars and was talking about all the going through this whole subreddit. Like that hasn't been posted yet. I have to go through and kind of edit it because it usually takes a few days. But this will all be on that channel. So if you like my stream stuff, you don't have to catch me when I'm streaming. You are able to find it a few days later. It's just catching me live. You get to see it, you know, live. So that is why. Did you know that both SpongeBob and Dragon Tales both aired the same year, albeit 4 months apart? I did not know that. Really? Dragon Tales wasn't earlier? Huh. That's interesting. They were both 1999? I would have thought, if you had asked me, I would have thought Dragon Tales was like a few years earlier. Oh.
I'm hooked.
Oh. Squid on Strike 2. Yep, it does get to, the Krusty Krab does get destroyed in Squid on Strike. I'll save it for the video because I'm gonna have a lot of observations on the writing choices of why the Krusty Krab gets destroyed and how it matters in the story. It's from season 5. Rise and Shine was from season 5? Oh, then I must have seen it. Because I would have seen all those episodes back in the day. I must just be misremembering. Rise and Shine. Doesn't sound familiar. I know a lot of classic episodes. Oh, do I need to throw that at that? Nope. I need an explodey one. That's what I need. I need an explodey one. You could use certain clips when you're answering questions in your long form videos to prove a point. I do that. I have yeah, check the Fanelli Clips channel. There's a couple on there already. It's relatively new. I've only really started getting into the streaming, but if it does well, I intend to make it a pretty big part of what I do on the platform. So definitely try to go support those channels if you like this stream content. I need something that explodes. Right? That's pretty important. No, I didn't want to throw that. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I just have to change this color. Uh-oh. Oh, what just happened? Did we disappear? Oh. Did we go dark for a second? Strange. What about Resident Evil 3? I've never played Resident Evil. I've played mostly Nintendo games. And GTA. I was a big GTA fan. But I've never played Resident Evil. What did you think of the Patrick Show parroting the Nostalgia Critic? I have not seen any of the Patrick Show, and I've never seen Nostalgia Critic, so I wouldn't be able to give you a good answer on either of those things. What are your thoughts on Pat Hart's Squid from season 12? I have not seen that episode. I was a big Saints Row fan. Is Saints Row the one that's like very doesn't take itself too seriously? Is that Saints Row? Where it's like an action game, but it's like kind of silly. I think one of my friends growing up had that game. Nope, stop. I keep pressing the wrong button. Keep forgetting what certain buttons do. Are there any other YouTubers who inspired you to make your own channel? Yeah, I started. Let me think of some that I did. Because the first channel I ever did was actually my gaming channel, the Game Cubicle. It's linked in the description of this. I still post to it. I don't post to it as often as I do with the weekly videos on this channel. Yeah, there were tons. I really like... I would say a big one for me is actually Big Joel. I love Big Joel. Has a lot of... I would say Big Joel is like the most similar to the kind of content I do, where I talk really deeply about like things and why they matter and stuff. So there's definitely a lot of that. I like LS Mark a bit. I enjoy him. I definitely think sometimes his stuff could be a little more in depth. Oh, I did that wrong. You know, a lot of times, like, and this isn't really like a dig on like other YouTubers, but a lot of what I saw, and this doesn't apply to everyone, definitely not like Big Joel or something, but like a lot of what I see with like YouTubers who talk about shows is not so much like, I would say the biggest extreme for negative for content creators who do stuff like cover SpongeBob episodes and all that. I would say the biggest negative that I see with stuff like that is people who basically just like recap an episode and say every so often like, yeah, this was good, this was bad. Like, I'd say that's the biggest negative extreme of like the worst kind of content of talking about a movie or TV show, is if you're just recapping and not saying much. And it's so common. Like, it's really all over the place where... And, like, I don't want to, like, specifically call anyone out because there's, like, times where there's plenty of creators who, like, make good videos a lot of the time, and then sometimes they're just kind of, like, recapping, and it's like, oh, okay, like, you're not really saying too much that matters. And I always wanted to be someone who always has real commentary to provide. And not to say that there's no other YouTubers that do that. There certainly is. But I definitely wanted to add to the amount of YouTubers who do that. If that makes sense. So that's big inspiration for me. Other ones that I think I like, some people like Drew Gooden or like Andy King. Like, I like people like that. They do more like general stuff, like general media. Not as much like specifically the sorts of shows I cover, but kind of their whole vibe of the way that they analyze stuff. I really like that. I like that analytical stuff. For video game stuff, I really liked Arlo was a big Nintendo guy that I would watch a lot. That was definitely a big one for me. And yeah, a lot of that just inspired me to make my own videos. I think on the gaming side, something that kind of inspired me was that there were just some things that I noticed that gaming YouTubers never talked about that I thought needed to be talked about. Like, for example, I think a lot of in gaming, I think a lot of people are very okay with a remake of a game not having new content. So, like, I was one of, I think, the only people when the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake came out who said that I was disappointed that it didn't have new content. And I made a video on that, and it actually was, like, very widely disliked in a lot of ways. Like, there was a lot of, like, very negative contents. There was a lot of negative comments on that opinion. And I still stand by it. I still think that a remake of a game should have new content. I just think that it's just a missed opportunity if it doesn't. It's kind of my argument for it.
I don't think so, Patrick.
Throw it over there. Oh, I see. Going the right way here. So yeah, a lot of that stuff. Mostly why I wanted to be a YouTuber is I just want to say the things that I think no other YouTuber really says. Like, I think there are a lot of other YouTubers who are very in-depth, who go really deep into stuff, but I don't think that there's really a lot where they say the exact things that I like to say in my videos, which would make sense. Like, no one has the exact same perspective as me. So I like that I get to put out there what I want to see out there, if that makes sense. But yeah, good question. Big Joel is awesome. Yeah, I like Big Joel. I like Big Joel a lot. Saints Row used to be serious back in the 90s or noughties, but not 3, 4. So it got less serious as it went on. In terms of who cries on SpongeBob, if you had to pick between SpongeBob, Patrick, Mr. Krabs, or Squidward, which character do you think cries in the most annoying way? Cries in the most annoying way. Definitely not Plankton. Not really Squidward either. A little bit more funny. It's probably SpongeBob would probably cry the most annoyingly. Not that every time SpongeBob ever cries in the show, it's like not deserved by the narrative. But I just think, just by virtue of him being the main character and by the fact that he's supposed to be an adult and sometimes they babyfy him too much and don't really strike that good balance, I definitely have a very negative association with SpongeBob crying in episodes because sometimes I think it's usually an indication of the episode not doing a good job. Not always.
Hello?
Some episodes that's not the case, but
I could use
sometimes.
some saving, you know.
Use some saving. Will you review Arthur like SpongeBob? The show has a lot of depth with its storylines and character. Probably not. I'd say that's very unlikely. I never really watched Arthur growing up. So probably not. And it's a little more young kid target audience, you know, than SpongeBob. I know SpongeBob is a kid's show too, but Arthur is definitely not to say that older people can't enjoy it, but it skews a lot younger and it probably wouldn't be my exact audience. So I'd say probably not. Pretty unlikely. What got you into making SpongeBob videos? At first, because I like the show. It is my favorite cartoon. Like it genuinely is my favorite cartoon. Absolutely, it's my favorite cartoon. My very first video when I did media analysis. Because originally this wasn't going to be a SpongeBob channel. I don't know if it's going to always be a SpongeBob channel. It's pretty much a SpongeBob channel right now. Who are we kidding? But my very first video on this channel was a SpongeBob video. It was the background fish video. It's the very first video. So always it was going to be heavily about SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob is just a show that's really good as a vessel for teaching people about storytelling because it's a very simple show. It has a lot of really deep stories, and it also has a lot of bad episodes. So you can find a lot of what not to do, as well as what to do. So, like, you'll notice that a lot of my SpongeBob videos, including the one I just did on Bubble Buddy, is about taking a bad episode and comparing it to a good episode. So I take the original Bubble Buddy episode, and then I talk about Bubble Buddy Returns from Season 8 and Bubble Town from, I think, Season 11. And I talk about how those episodes didn't do a very good job compared to Bubble Buddy. SpongeBob isn't exactly a unique show for that matter. Like, there's a lot of different shows that have good and bad episodes, depending on if it's early or later. Plenty of shows go on for a long time and decline in quality. But SpongeBob just has a very big, unique part of it. But to be even more honest, the reason that almost all of my videos are SpongeBob videos right now is because it is what's popular with the audience. I'm not going to say specifically, because it just does well with the algorithm or whatever. It is making me more successful to focus specifically on that show for now and build up a subscriber base. And I get why. It's because if you do a SpongeBob video and then, like, let's say you cover, like, regular show, you know, and you do a regular show video, like, there's probably a lot of overlap in those audiences, SpongeBob and regular show. Like, let's say even 70% of people who watch SpongeBob also watch regular show and thus would watch a regular show video. That's still only 70%. Whereas if you do a SpongeBob video and then another SpongeBob video, 100% of those viewers will have also watched SpongeBob because they're the same show. So it does help to grow and get a consistent audience by doing mostly one show. And again, I don't only cover SpongeBob. When the Mario Galaxy movie comes out, I am going to cover it. Like, I'm thinking of possibly doing like a Family Guy video soon. So I might not only cover SpongeBob even right now. But when you keep that kind of consistency, it does really help with growing. And I am still in the growing phase. I'm actually not far off from getting 10K subscribers. I think we're going to get to 10K soon. But you have to be even bigger than that to be a little more, to go into stuff that's a little more obscure, to take a little more risks with the channel and stuff. I definitely have to be a little bit bigger to do other kinds of videos that I really do want to do. I just need to have more of an established audience for it. So a lot of the SpongeBob stuff is because I know I'm going to get an audience for it. But I say that in a way of, you know, it helps me spread my message. It helps me reach more people that I am consistent with this one show. Because when you do, like, anything performance-based...
Hey, what are you doing in there?
I ate some chocolate.
Chocolate!
It is not a crime. It was...
Oh, it was King Neptune's chocolate. I just skipped his dialogue.
I haven't had any chocolate since. You don't happen to have any, do you?
No, but there's gotta be some chocolate around here.
I have to get him chocolate? That's so funny. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so... a thing that I do when I know that the best thing for my channel is to do mostly SpongeBob videos is I try to use it to, like, teach writing, to teach about my philosophy on story and stuff. That's why you see a lot of stuff in my videos where I talk about the importance of stories having lessons and all that sort of stuff. I use SpongeBob as a vessel to teach that lesson, is how I like to see it. Hey, look, another background fish.
Good day.
Good day. The trend of recapping episodes also gets extended to just recapping character arcs over a show. You see that a lot with Adventure Time. Yeah, I think that that's true. Like, and you know, and I'm sure it takes a lot of work to do a video like that, to go through a whole show and, like, talk about a entire character, you know, like everything character does. Like, I get that that's probably a lot of work, but at the same time, it's like, you gotta add your opinion. You gotta add something that's transformative. I think it's just so important to be transformative in a world where so many creators are trying to just take ownership over things that they didn't make so that they can just make money off of it, which is what you're doing when you're just, like, if you have a channel where, let's take, for example, Sponge Truths. Sponge Truths is a great example. Now, Sponge Truths videos, I mean, they're AI, so he's not doing any work anyway. But most of what, like, AI does when you make it write a script for you is it just will recap the episode. So if you look at, like, Sponge Truths videos, it's mostly just, like, recapping the episode. So really what Sponge Truths is doing when they just recap the episode is they're just profiting off... They might as well be plagiarizing at that point. You might as well just be plagiarizing SpongeBob episodes. And the only difference is that if you straight up plagiarize SpongeBob episodes, YouTube will take down the video and you won't get monetized. That's the only difference. That's the only difference, like, in terms... philosophically, that's the only difference. It's not the literal only difference. But philosophically, that's the only difference. So... Yeah, so I think that's just... I think when you just recap an episode and don't add anything to it, that is you trying to take ownership of something that you didn't create and use it to make a profit. And I think that that is just it's just wrong. You know, it's just wrong. Like, if you want to profit off of something, you should have to build something. You should have to create something. It's like when we were looking at yesterday, we were looking at the AI Wars subreddit. Someone was talking about... if like AI is fine as long as you don't, like, profit off it or whatever. And there were people who are like, well, if it's the free market or whatever, duh, or whatever nonsense people argue. I think it's a lot like that with people trying to just oh dang, what am I doing wrong over here, game wise? Do you like Pie Guy Rules? He also reviews SpongeBob and I've also watched his content. I don't know Pie Guy Rules, no. The only thing I've heard about Pie Guy Rules is actually in like my comments section. Are like, that's the only time I've really heard reference. I've never seen a video. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Okay, so we have this. That turns this on.
Keep it up, boys. I can almost taste freedom.
Oh, there's something up there.
Chocolate, 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 chocolate. Don't mind if I do.
Well, this is a wind thing. What is going on here? What am I missing here? Okay, so there's something. Oh, I'm able to get up there. Can I reach it? No. Okay, so that turns off.
Don't mind if I do.
Can I make it all the way over? I can make it all the way over there from that. Can I make it all the way over there from this? Okay. Oh, sorry, guy. Sorry, citizen. All right, I made it somewhere.
It's
Got me a lot
not
of
just
gold
a
stuff.
sport. It's a lifestyle.
Speaking of Joel's, are you familiar with Joel Haver at all? I love how he democratizes art. No, I'm not familiar with that. How does this, what do you mean by democratize art, and how does this person do that? Are there other kids shows that you consider to be as good or similar in quality as SpongeBob? Regular Show, off the top of my head. Regular Show's very good. I really liked Flapjack, Chowder. Quality as SpongeBob. I still think SpongeBob's the best of all, even of all those ones I just said. But yeah, there's definitely other kid shows that are of the quality. It's not the only. It's not the only quality show ever.
Chocolate. Chocolate.
Okay, so
Chocolate. Chocolate. Don't mind if I do.
I feel like I'm supposed to take this somewhere. Right, I'm missing something.
You're getting close, boys. I can feel it.
Oh, hold on, let me see the next chat. Does SpongeBob share aspects of the Flintstones? If so, what makes them both similar cartoons? I've never really watched the Flintstones. They probably share a lot of similar, like, cartoony stuff to them, but I wouldn't be able to really give you a academic description of, like, certain qualities that they share. Okay, so I hit that. That doesn't do anything. So I need a way to make this glow. Oh, do that? No, that's too far. So it seems like the only way to make that glow is for me to come all the way over here. Well, I guess the question is, what's making this blue? What's activating this blue? Oh, I can do it while I'm holding it. I'm so dumb. I didn't even realize. You can just hit it while you're jumping. I didn't even know that was an option. I was like trying to figure this out like it was some kind of puzzle. I just didn't know how to play the game. I thought you had way more than just 10K subscribers. You deserve more than just 10K subscribers. Oh, thank you so much. I guess I haven't really been doing this for a long time. The channel's only about a year and 2 months old. It's only really been hitting its stride lately, and I'm a one person, well, two people. I'm me and my fiance. So I do have a fiance who helps edit, who does a lot. So, but it's only really two people, like, so there's only so much output I can get, but I think I'm growing at a pretty good pace. But yeah, I hope we start to rise up a little bit more too. I really would like that. I'm trying to do some bigger videos. Trying to do some more stuff with the streams too. Try to have more of a direct communication with my audience. You should go subscribe to Fanelli Clips and Fanelli. They're linked in the description. They're where these live streams go. I unlist these live streams after I stream them so they don't mess up the algorithm. And I do put them elsewhere so you can find them. So you can watch my streams after they are done. You just have to wait a few days for me to edit them. The first season of SpongeBob seemed a lot more character-driven and character-focused than the other ones. Part of me is disappointed we didn't get a more character-driven show after season 1.
I get out. You
Oh, would I say that? After season 1? I don't know. There's some pretty character-driven episodes in seasons 2 and 3. Dying for Pie, that's a season 2 episode. That's a very character-driven episode. Even like as far as like season 5, season 6, I kind of get what you mean. But I don't know if it's specifically a season 1 thing. I'd say the biggest difference. Oh, we got a boss battle. Oh, guys. Oh, what? Wow, we got a straight up death. That raised the stakes right there. Okay, so I shouldn't do that. I would say the biggest difference between season 1 and any other season is just the art direction. The art direction, there was a specific kind of art direction with the cell shading. And, you know, that's the, and I know that because of the Ave video. I mean, I always like kind of thought that, but that's the best analysis of that, of how that art direction works in the first season. It's just a different kind. It's just a different vibe. Not to say that seasons 2 and 3 and even some later seasons don't have good vibes either. They certainly do, but there's just something so different about season 1's art direction. I don't know if it specifically applies to the writing though. I think the writing is just as strong in seasons 2 and 3. I think in seasons 2 and 3 the actual quality of the jokes is higher. I think season 2 and 3 are definitely funnier than season 1. I don't know about more character driven. I would have to think about that more deeply. I'm not saying you're definitely wrong, I just don't know for sure. It's just not something I've ever really considered. If season 1 was more character driven than the rest. I'd have to really examine the season 1 and the seasons that I would be comparing it to. Got him. I feel like SpongeBob is so broad, it's tricky to figure out what other shows your fans watch. You know what? That's a good point. That is so true. It is very hard to figure that out. That is such a good point. Because there's so many... Yeah, because SpongeBob is such a broad audience. It's like, what specifically do other people want to see? That is such a good point. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people online just want to see somebody tear apart a new episode of the show, especially SpongeBob. Yeah, that would explain why my most popular videos are the ones that begin with the 4 words modern SpongeBob doesn't understand. To the point where I have to lean into that kind of title, even if the episode isn't, even if the video isn't really about that. Like, a video I'm doing this week is about, that I'm working on right now, is about science fiction in SpongeBob. So the video is going to be, I go through 8 episodes of the show from season 1 to season 14. So I talk about like the whole, from classic SpongeBob to middle SpongeBob to modern SpongeBob. Like I talk about everything in between, and I talk about like a different science fiction based episode from every couple of seasons. And what I would want to title that video is what is this? I wasn't paying attention to the dialogue. What I would want to title that video is something like a close look at science fiction in SpongeBob. How SpongeBob writes science fiction episodes. That's what I would like to title that video. But because I understand that YouTube is a business And while I do want to put out authentic content and talk about what matters, which I still do, I don't have to change the content of the video. I have to name this video Modern SpongeBob Doesn't Understand Science Fiction. I have to name this video that. That is going to be the title of the video. It's still correct. Like, when I talk about the modern SpongeBob episodes at the end, I talk about how they're underwhelming. I talk about how they don't use science fiction very well. Like, it's not a disingenuous title, but it's not what I would have wanted to title the video. And it's because, you know, I want to reach more people. I want to actually reach people. I'd rather reach people, you know, it's a compromise, you know? Like, I'm not compromising my integrity. I'm not compromising what I am saying in the video. I'm not compromising talking about story or all that stuff that really matters to me. I'm just compromising on that I kind of have to make the title a little hyperbolic. And I'd rather compromise on that and just allow, you know, so that more people will watch the stuff that I think matters more, which is the actual analysis of the story, which people will watch. Because I make the video something like modern SpongeBob doesn't, you know, modern SpongeBob doesn't understand basic storytelling. That's one that was like that. That got a lot of people to watch that video, and that video had a lot of very important points. That video said a lot of stuff that I think really mattered. And that title got more people to watch it, so I think of it as a net positive. SpongeBob should have died back in 2018. Hard disagree. I don't think SpongeBob should have ended after the first movie. I don't think it should end now. I don't think it should have ended back in 2018. I think that it should keep going, and I think that it should be good. That's what I think for SpongeBob. I think it should keep going, and I think the writers should work really hard because it's the biggest cartoon around, and the writers should acknowledge that and put a lot of work into every single episode. What is with the... What am I supposed to do with this?
Coming at ya!
I see that there's like a thing. What's going on here? I skipped the dialogue. Should have paid more attention. Oh, is it not going to repeat it? What am I supposed to do here?
Two dimwits full of surprises.
Oh, do I just go down here? I guess it doesn't matter. This game really needs a thing that is just like that's just like a little marker that tells you where to go. I don't know. Am I like asking for like too like handholdy? Like I kind of like that when it's just like a little explanation point that's like go here. You know, that's why I don't mind like yellow paint. You know, like the yellow paint debate in video games. It's like that would have been fine if it was just like yeah, a little. Do we just cut out? Oh, we just disappeared. Did we go dark for a second? My thing is like going dark for a few seconds, but I think that's just a glitch on my part. Oh, we see uh-oh. Alright, what was the other... You should have been able to play as Chocolate Guy. I think that would have been a lot of playable characters to deal with. Which SpongeBob characters do you want to see playable in a sequel? I think Squidward needs to be playable in a 3D game. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think the most logical, like, third playable character is Sandy. Right? Wouldn't that make sense? Squidward doesn't feel like he'd really translate too much to, like, playable character in a 3D sense. I know he's playable in Lights, Camera, Pants. I think SpongeBob and Patrick really just work well as video game characters. SpongeBob especially. Like, he just kind of has that sort... He has that sort of vibe, you know? He has that kind of... He has that same kind of vibe that someone like Mario has. Like, he's just that kind of character. And Patrick, by extension, is pretty close with that, too. I'm pressing the wrong button there. I would say Sandy is the most logical, like, third character to play as. Mr. Krabs, like, sure, but I think Sandy would beat out Mr. Krabs in that way. Squidward I don't really see as, like, playable character material, you know? Even in like Lights, Camera, Pants, I was always like, Squidward, really? Like, he feels like a game NPC.
Boy, it's
That makes
sure is
sense.
dark and creepy down here.
But definitely Sandy. Oh, I gotta get that jellyfish. Ah, was it worth dying? I just mean that Joel, the other Joel that you were talking about, who democratizes art, promotes the idea that the tools to making art are more accessible than a lot of people realize. He champions low-budget independent filmmaking. Well, from what you're describing, I like that. I think that's very good, to encourage people to just try to make something, even if it's not that great. Like something, or even if it's not perfect, and what kind of tools you can use to make something on a small budget. I advocate for that for sure. I'd love to make more content that talks about stuff like that. Like how you can be a YouTuber yourself, how you can make a short film, like things like that. I would love to make videos like that. If I were a little bigger and had more of an established audience, I think I'd talk about stuff like that. I definitely would like to talk about more like meta stuff, like how to like make a YouTube channel, how to be a YouTuber like how I am.
Madam Cassandra! Oh, what a relief.
Not for lack of trying.
What was that?
I said, you boys beat me just...
Okay, Madam Cassandra, here we come.
Well, you're still alive, aren't you? A+, I guess.
Madam Cassandra is right, Patrick. We can do this.
Then let's hurry. Maybe you're right, SpongeBob.
Quick question, what if SpongeBob season 1 had 26 episodes instead of 20? That would... I don't know how big of a, like, difference that would make, like, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, it'd be cool if there was a couple more episodes that were like season 1, because season 1 is so unique with the art style and stuff. But I don't know how different, like, I don't know how different SpongeBob as a whole would be. Maybe having John Ritter guest star in one episode. Have you ever heard of him? What is that, a voice actor? I don't know the names of everybody, but no, I don't exactly know. I'd probably like know it if you said it. You're like, oh, they're this. I'd be like, oh yeah, I know who that is. Season 1 had cell animation. Yeah, season 1's had, yeah, it was cell animation. Good stuff, but very expensive. Very, very hard to keep up for a long time. Like, the decision probably basically was they can either have a show or they can try to do the cell animation. I don't know. I don't know about the cell animation debate. I need to know more about what the actual budget is, or if they should have tried to keep it and all that sort of stuff.
How about a good old-fashioned race, guy?
No, not with the races. I don't want to do the races. I don't want to race you, Larry. Okay, so that's Larry's deal. He wants you to do a race. SB129 including in my science fiction video. Yeah, SB129 is the first episode I talk about in it. It's kind of the first, like, it wasn't the first time there was ever science fiction elements in SpongeBob, but it was the first, like, science fiction episode, I would think.
Oh no!
Maybe I could be proven wrong. Maybe there was an earlier one that was like, oh yeah. And it's not how science impacted Bikini Bottom, it's science fiction. So like the genre of science fiction, how it's used to tell certain stories in SpongeBob.
On our way, Sandy. With Madam Cassandra's guidance.
That's an interesting idea. I think as long as the content is quality, then you can call it anything you want. It's only clickbait if you don't deliver on anything. That is true. I've never considered my thumbnails and titles clickbait, because clickbait would mean that the thing that you are promising to your audience is literally not in the video. And when I title my video something like "Modern SpongeBob Doesn't Understand Basic Storytelling," I do talk about that. I do talk about a modern, like, it's like this one is going to be "Modern SpongeBob Doesn't Understand Science Fiction." I will talk about that. Like that is a part of the video. You are getting that. You are getting what you clicked on. It's just that I need to title it a certain way so it gets seen. So it is viewed at all, you know, because I can make the greatest video in the world, but if no one sees it, what's the point?
Whoa, those two sure play rough.
This is terrifying. Why would King Neptune make a city full of ghosts?
If Neptune were any more of a ham, he'd be someone's holiday dinner.
John Ritter is known as the voice of Clifford in Clifford the Big Red Dog. He was a guest star in pre-movie SpongeBob. Who'd he play? No, I'm not really too familiar with him. Why do SpongeBob episodes have a sister episode paired with them? Because it's an 11-minute show. It's just the runtime. So a typical TV runtime is a half an hour, 22 minutes of show, 8 minutes of ads. That's just the way that most TV shows operate. Sometimes there are hour-long shows that are 44 minutes of show, 16 minutes of ads. So with a show like SpongeBob, they still want to fill the 30-minute time slot. It's better to do that than to have like a 15-minute time slot, 11-minute episode, 4 minutes of ads, and you get kind of random episodes. It's much better from a business perspective to have sister episodes that are always paired with the same episodes. Like, for example, a Secret Box is always next to Pangeeks. It's much better to have that than to not have sister episodes and fill 15-minute time slots. That would end up being less financially viable because of the standardized 30-minute time slots. So that is why 11-minute SpongeBob episodes have sister episodes. More of a behind-the-scenes question.
Don't you feel better now?
If SpongeBob lasts long enough for a voice actor to die, will the VA be replaced with a voice impression or AI, or not be used in a show reason for it? Definitely not AI. No way. At least not in how a lot of bad things would need to be normalized. If there was actually, like, if SpongeBob continued after a voice actor's passing and they actually just had AI do it. First of all, it's actually impossible. It is. I truly believe that no matter how powerful an AI can be, no matter what amount of algorithms, no matter how many data centers you make, you will never be able to create a computer that will impersonate a voice actor in a way that is acceptable. It just can't. The things that voice actors do, the things that they know how to do, are things that a computer cannot replicate. It will not happen. And it would not happen with, like, it can happen with, like, you know, a little video game project or something that's, like, smaller. And that's bad when it does. Just because they're not going to care as much about quality. But in SpongeBob, no way. There's no way that there's going to be a SpongeBob where it's like, oh yeah, like, we just generate the voice of the character. A lot of bad things would have to be accepted by a wider audience that I don't think ever would be as bad as the wider audience actually could be. So that would never happen. What they would... It's hard to say what you would do in that situation. I suppose it depends. Sometimes you just retire the character. Like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. You know, they retired the characters after their passing. I know the voice actress of Mrs. Puff is quite up there in age. May she have good health. May she have good health. But if on her passing, I think it would be most likely that they would probably just retire the character of Mrs. Puff. Either create a new boating school teacher or retire boating school as a concept. For, like, the big characters, like Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, I mean, those voice actors are all... None of those voice actors are elderly, you know? Everyone's always saying that, like, Tom Kenny's old or whatever. Like, Tom Kenny's not old, man. Like, he's like, what is he, 60? Like, it's not old, all right? Like, it's fine, you know? It's, like, even like 65. Like, yeah, you're a senior citizen, sure, but, like, it's not old. 70 is old. Like, come on. Are any of those 70? Is Clancy Brown 70? How old is Clancy Brown? I don't know how old he is. I don't think any of them are that old, but if anything happened to those voice actors, It'd be tough. Because you wouldn't be able to write them out of the show. No way. No way, no how. A status quo change of that size, it just wouldn't happen. They would have to hire a new actor who can do the voice. I think that's fine to hire a new actor who can do the voice. That's probably what's going to happen. Like if something, I mean that happens all the time with big characters, like like Kermit the Frog, you know, even Super Mario just got a new voice actor, you know, and he just retired. Like it happens when you have and these characters are like that, you know. SpongeBob is kind of like Kermit the Frog. If anything, SpongeBob is bigger than Kermit the Frog. You know, you have that happen, and in 70 years, when SpongeBob is getting season 80, which will probably happen, or different reboots of the show, like it might not be the same show. You know, it's not like Looney Tunes as season 80 or whatever, but there's still like different Looney Tunes shows and stuff like that. Oh, I don't need to keep fighting this thing. But as the characters move on, as they continue to exist, they will eventually get new voice actors, and we'll just be like, oh, you know, and I'm talking like literally like in 100 years, like hundreds, you know, 100 years from now, it's like the Tom Kenny SpongeBob from back in the original, this actor, like it could be like 4 different, you know, just like how you have with Kermit the Frog. There's been like, what, 3 or 4 different Kermit the Frogs over the years? Stuff like that. That's probably what will happen. But there's no universe where they're going to be like, yeah, let's just generate the voice. Let's just make it worse. It will never happen. Ridiculous. And if you think that would happen, if you think that would happen for a second, you don't fully understand voice acting, which is fine. Not everyone fully understands voice acting or acting in general. That's why I'm telling you, like, no shame on you for not fully understanding what it takes to be a voice actor, that you would think that would be a viable option. But what it takes to be a voice actor is so much more that a computer could never, ever replicate. Hi Jackson, glad to be back. Thanks for your good take on House Party and confirming the Patchy Big Time Rush cameo was not a SpongeBob lore crossover. Well, I didn't confirm it. I just said that was my opinion. Perhaps if the writers, the team behind either show said otherwise, that would kind of contradict me. I would just say, in my opinion, it wasn't specifically in the lore, because that would mean that SpongeBob exists in the ocean within Big Time Rush, which I don't know, maybe, I guess it's not that crazy. I don't know. How wacky was that show? Was it I haven't seen it in years, since I was like a little kid when it was airing. Was it a show like that where like magical things would happen? SpongeBob will outlive the VAs. SpongeBob will outlive all of us. They're just like Looney Tunes. Like, there were people who were 5 years old watching Looney Tunes who lived well into old age, you know, or still around. What was Looney Tunes? Yeah, Looney Tunes was around in the 1940s. So there are people who would have been 5 years old when they watched Looney Tunes who are now in their 80s. So, and it'll be like that with SpongeBob, where there are people where, like me, like I'll be in my 80s, and SpongeBob will outlive me, for sure. For sure, absolutely.
I have a special treat for you two. A boulder.
Oh, goody! Patrick and I love boulders.
Excellent. Then what I need you to do is...
Save your breath, ma'am. SpongeBob and I know our way around a boulder.
I think Tom Kenny will license his voice for AI cloning to keep SpongeBob. I would never forgive him. The negative opinion that I would have of Tom Kenny if he did that. First of all, I don't think that's his call, because I think Nickelodeon has some kind of ownership of the SpongeBob voice, not of literally his voice, but the SpongeBob voice. But is he someone who would do that? I know, like, what's his face? The guy who was Alfred, and he's Scrooge in Muppets Christmas. Michael Caine, he, like, did that. And it made me, like... I mean, I don't know if he, you know, he's, like, 90 or whatever. Perhaps he wasn't... You know, perhaps it was someone did it on his behalf, like a greedy grandkid or something. But I think that's, like, an awful thing to do. I think that you I think that that is one of the most selfish things that you could do, to care so little about the craft of the thing that you dedicated your life to. That would be such a betrayal. For any actor to do that. Like, you don't care about the craft that you dedicated your life to if you do that. It'd be hard to replace them. It wouldn't feel the same. I'll let you some more stuff. Do you think the Dunces and Dragons special could work its way into a spin-off if the writers who grew up with the show and understand Dungeons and Dragons was hired? A spin-off? Like a Dunces and Dragons spin-off? Knee-jerk reaction? That doesn't sound good to me. I feel like that would get old. You know, I just feel like that would get so old after a while. Because Dunces and Dragons was enough. You know, I feel like Dunces and Dragons as a double-length special already did everything that was SpongeBob but medieval. You know what I mean? I mean, like, maybe. Like, anything's possible if it's done well. But, like, a whole show? I don't know. Because it's also, it's like it's two things. Because SpongeBob is an underwater show. So if it was SpongeBob plus medieval, now it's the underwater plus medieval show. You know, and that was fine for one episode. The underwater show did a medieval episode. You know, that's fine. But the whole show is underwater plus medieval. Like, those things don't really go together inherently to the point where a show would be justified. Singular episode, yes. Oh. So when it happens, what happens if a VA dies and they be replaced or not used, and if replaced, how? There will always be a talented voice actor who can do a SpongeBob character's voice. There will be, and it'll be hard. Like, you know, like it'll be hard to be like, wow, like, yeah, even like, you know, Tom Kenny could retire. It doesn't even have to be someone's passing. You know, he could just retire. Like Charles Martinet retired from Mario, you know, and that was sad. And you have a new voice actor, and usually a new voice actor has a lot of respect for the old voice actor, and you talk about how they approach the character differently, and that's just how these things work. That's just how the arts is. Things change. Actors get replaced, you know? Shows change. And I think it's okay for us to embrace that. And definitely, like, the worst thing that we could do, and another reason why I think the whole AI idea is so disgusting to me, other than the fact that I think AI is disgusting, is that it's just another element of that not accepting things. You know? It's like those people, you know what it's very similar to? It's like those people where, like, someone dies and they make, like, an AI of the dead person. You know, where it's like you're still talking to the person who died. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. That's not healthy. No way. And also, and it depends on how hard it is, but, like, try to not humor people who do that garbage. You know, like, because people are going to try to make you feel bad if you're like, you shouldn't do that. Like, well, it's my grieving process or whatever. And, like, I get it. Grief is really hard. But we got to also accept that things end. We need to, like, I think that's more healthy to just accept that. Because being like, oh, yeah, we're just going to have a robot that's going to imitate Tom Kenny. I'd rather a new actor who's going to try their best to do the voice like Tom Kenny. And then it's also them. I would prefer that. I would, even if it's not as good. Even if you could make an AI that would perfectly replicate Tom Kenny, which you can't, that is impossible. You would literally have to just take Tom Kenny's brain and put it in a robot and make it alive. It would have to actually be alive in order for it to be as good as Tom Kenny, which I think would be morally wrong to do. But even if you could do that, I don't like that. I actually think it'd be better to have it be a new actor. I think that's how things change, and I think we should just accept that things change sometimes. Get up there. Get up there. Yeah, there we go. Huh! Oh! Yeah, very good mobility in this game. With that. Like, that I don't feel like I'm, like, falling and stuff. Like, that's very solid. Should I stop that? Oh, okay.
SpongeBob, Spot's gone missing again.
Not Spot! She sounded so worried.
From the floating patty when we dodged one of King Neptune's lightning bolts.
Not Spot. Spot is Plankton's little dog.
Somewhere. We'll find him.
Tom said he wants to voice SpongeBob forever. So Tom Kenny does want to voice SpongeBob. He doesn't want to retire from SpongeBob. Gotcha. I mean, you know, people don't live forever, but that's good news, you know. Hey, I want Tom to do the voice for as long as he feels comfortable doing the voice. You know, he should be the first guy to have it, you know. He's been the voice for 26 years. You know, but time marches on, you know. And I would think, and I say this because I would feel the same way if I voiced a character for my whole life. That's what I would want to happen to it after I'm gone, or after I can no longer voice the character for whatever reason. But that's good on Tom. Good for him. What a talent. What a talent to voice that, to voice any of them, all the voice actors. Like, just the, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy. It is not just sitting in a booth and doing a voice. It is so much more than that. What it takes for these people to entertain us for all these decades is something I have a very, very large amount of respect for. Whoa, camera. Where'd I go? Oh. Oh, God. Squidward's voice actor is in 70s? Roger Bumpus is in his 70s? Is Roger Bumpus older than Clancy Brown? It's funny because I would assume that Clancy Brown is older because Mr. Krabs is the older character. But I guess, like, it wouldn't have to be because they're a voice actor. Like, a younger voice actor could voice an older character. Huh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Roger was in his 70s. Was that Dan joke poking fun at the fact his jokes was taking over the Nickelodeon live-action network as SpongeBob? Are you talking about Dirty Dan? The theory that Dirty Dan is supposed to be an inside joke about Dan Schneider? I don't know, man. I think that Dirty Dan... You know why I think that's not true? Because Dirty Dan is really funny on its own. Like, try to think of... If you're writing that episode, if you're writing Survival of the Idiots... What name... Oh, I totally did that wrong. What name would be funnier than Dirty Dan and Pinhead Larry? What name would be funnier than Dirty Dan? Like the alliteration, you know, I'm Dirty Dan. I'm Dirty Dan. You know, all that stuff. It's just the funniest name they could have picked. I don't buy it. I don't think so. I don't think it's an inside joke. I think it's got nothing to do with it. If anything, I would think that stuff would be a little more... Not that people didn't know. Obviously, people did know that he was kind of weird. But, like... I don't think it would be the point where they're going to be like, haha, Dirty Dan, like Dan Schneider. I don't believe it. I don't think so. I don't buy it. I think it's just the objectively funniest name that they could have used in that episode. Oh, okay. That's what I get for being lazy. Where are we going here? I'm trying to find the chat here. I'm curious about the Simpsons cast. It's actually painful to listen to the new episodes. Yeah, that show, what is it, 35 years? I have not watched The Simpsons much. I haven't watched The Simpsons like since I was a kid. I watched a bit of season 1 not too long ago. But I haven't really watched a lot of The Simpsons yet. I should get more into it. Patrick is close to 70. Yeah, wouldn't Tom Kenny be one of the youngest of the main SpongeBob voice actors? Which would make sense because SpongeBob's a pretty youthful character. That he would have been cast when he was younger. I don't know how old they all are. I don't know how old every single one of them is. Oh, I messed that up. Oh, okay. We'll just add the space for it. Marge, voice actress, and Tom Kenny loves what they do. I feel like Tom is doing SpongeBob just fine, if not even cooler nowadays. Yeah, I think people overstate that when they're like, oh, like Tom Kenny's losing his voice or whatever. It's like, no, he's just doing it a little differently. They say that with Marge, too. It's interesting you bring the two of them up. I haven't watched enough of The Simpsons to properly judge what I think of the Marge voice actress, Julie Kavner, what she's, how she's doing it these days. But with SpongeBob, like the modern, like you could tell it's different. SpongeBob does sound different in modern episodes, absolutely. But I don't think it's an indication of anything negative with Tom Kenny and his voice. I don't think it's an indication of anything like that. I think voices do change with age. But I don't think it's a sense of, like, losing the voice. It's possible. I would say if there's any voice that could run rampant on... If there are any voices that could run rampant on your vocal cords for doing them for multiple decades, SpongeBob and Marge Simpson would definitely be high up on the list. So, it's not too crazy, but I wouldn't say that it's, like, fact, just because it sounds different. Voicing a character is easy, though. It is absolutely not easy. It's actually like probably, I mean, it's high acting. Like you are at the top of your craft. Being at the top of your craft at anything, it's like it's the equivalent of if you are an Olympic swimmer, but for talking. That's what being a voice actor is. You are as good as a gold medal Olympic athlete is at running. You are at speaking. That is what being a voice actor is on a show like SpongeBob. Voicing a character is not easy. Trust me, sit down and try. Like actually, because I wrote and recorded something for an independent project of mine. And I voice acted it, but I'm a trained actor. Like I have vocal training, and it is not easy to voice a character. No way, not easy at all.
All right.
Another question, Jackson. How do you feel is season 17 goes the animation and writing style route of A Fish Called Sandy? Patrick was also... You mean like if all of season 17 was animated like A Fish Called Sandy? That's interesting. So that's a very good question. So I talked about A Fish Called Sandy in my SpongeBob art style video. I talked about A Fish Called Sandy, and I also talked about Go Fetch, because those were the two most recent prominent episodes that have different art styles. And something I said about A Fish Called Sandy that was negative. I spoke very positively of A Fish Called Sandy's story. It was a well-written episode. It was funny. It was, it had a good lesson. It had all that sort of stuff. All that stuff that is necessary for a good episode. But I did say that the problem with A Fish Called Sandy was that there was kind of no reason for it to have the season 1 art style. I saw a few good arguments for it where it's like, well, because A Fish Called Sandy is about Sandy experiencing the ocean for the first time, it's like season 1 SpongeBob, because season 1 SpongeBob is the first time you experience the ocean if you watch the show from the beginning. Like, I saw a few good arguments for it, but I just didn't really buy it. It just kind of felt like to me that the only reason that A Fish Called Sandy looked like that was because it got a lot of attention that it looked like that. Now, if they did it for a whole season, if they literally just were like, no, the art style, or not for a whole season, if they did it just in the near future, like if just from now on, every episode was stylized in the same way A Fish Called Sandy was, which basically means they wanted to use modern animation techniques, but it looks like season 1. I would have no problem with that. I think that's as valid of a stylistic choice. Like, you wouldn't need a story reason for it, because it's just like, well, that's just the art direction we're doing now. But if you do it for one episode, I think it needs a story reason. It needs a story reason if you just do it for one episode. You wouldn't need a story reason if you did it moving forward, because then it would just be the art style of the show now. It's not saying anything about this one particular episode, if that makes sense. So I would not mind that. I don't particularly mind the current art style. I'm not like, oh, the current art style is trash. They need to make it look like season 1 just for the sake of it. But I'd say I wouldn't mind either way. I think it would be good if it looked like season 1. I think it's good if it looks like season 16. I think it's good if they do a new art style, as long as the art style works. That's generally my position on stuff like that. Looney Tunes started in 1930. Oh, I said it started in 1940. Wow. So yeah, definitely there are people who were born, lived well into old age, and died, and Looney Tunes was older than them. And that will be the case with all of us in SpongeBob. R.I.P. Guy Moon. I know, right? Did a lot of composing for... Did he do composing? I know he did a lot for Fairly Odd Parents. Did he do SpongeBob composing? Yeah, great talent. Sad. Tom Kenny would not do that, would not license his voice to AI. I wouldn't think so. I think, like, already, like, I don't know every individual voice actor's, like, individual opinions on AI or whatever. Because some can have bad opinions. Like, I think, isn't it the Phineas and Ferb creator who also does the voice of Doofenshmirtz? Like, he's, like, very chill with, like, people using, like, AI clones of, like, Doofenshmirtz's voice. I wouldn't straight up accuse him of that right now. I don't have anything in front of me that's, like, him saying that. I've just, like, kind of heard that. So maybe I'm completely wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong and he's not that. But I would think that if you're a voice actor, you're gonna be predisposed to being against AI cloning of a voice, because you're a voice actor. You know what it takes to do that voice, and you would know that AI would never be able to recreate it. So most likely Tom Kenny would be against that because he's a voice actor, but you never know. There are plenty of people who are incredibly talented but are stupid about their craft. You know, there are people who are great writers but have horrible ideas about writing. Like, it does happen. Just being talented at something doesn't mean you have all of the correct opinions all the time. So I wouldn't know for sure. But I would say it's more likely that a person who is a voice actor would be against AI cloning of voice actors because they're more likely to understand voice acting. But it's not a one-to-one.
How far we rolled, SpongeBob. No wonder my limbs are starting to ache.
All thanks to the expert guidance of Madame Cassandra.
Yeah, she did all the heavy lifting for us.
If SpongeBob aired in the 80s, do you think Mel Blanc could have voiced SpongeBob before Tom Kenny took over after he passed? That's interesting. Yeah, that probably would be realistic casting, right? Like if SpongeBob came out at the time where Mel Blanc was most active as a voice actor, that makes a lot of sense to me. For sure. He probably would have been able to do the voice.
There you are. We made it.
Most likely, actually, because if it premiered in the 80s before, like, you know, before Tom Kenny was active as a voice actor. Or was he active in the 80s? I don't know. But, like, if Mel Blanc had the role first, it probably wouldn't sound like what we expect SpongeBob to sound like, because Tom Kenny really created the voice, you know?
Please.
Like, if Mel Blanc did the voice and then Tom Kenny was the replacement, Tom Kenny would actually probably just do an impression of whatever Mel Blanc's take of SpongeBob would be, because that's actually how voice acting works. It's kind of like Kevin Afghani is doing Charles Martinet's Mario. Charles Martinet created the Mario voice as we know it. Kevin Afghani is doing Charles Martinet's Mario voice. If Kevin Afghani was the original Mario, he probably would have had a different take on it. But because we know Mario to sound like Charles Martinet, Kevin Afghani has to sound, like he does a few things that are different with the voice. There's a few differences between the voices. But Kevin Afghani does have to do the Charles Martinet Mario. And in that way, the original voice actor lives on. And I think that when we look at stuff like, oh, Tom Kenny won't always be around to voice SpongeBob, we can know that his part of it is still there, just as Mel Blanc is still there in Bugs Bunny, just as Jim Henson is still there in Kermit the Frog, even though they aren't literally voicing the thing. And that's the real way that people become immortalized. They don't become immortalized through AI. People become immortalized in the way that you remember them. And I think that's why thinking that we can AI clone people is the most dangerous thing about it, is that it makes us not actually accept how, not just how people are eventually gone, but how people should be remembered. Okay, so that's how we do that. Neptune's statue. If SpongeBob was made in the 60s, would it be silent like Tom and Jerry? Probably not. No way. I don't think so. I know Reef Blower is a silent episode. And that's great for the style of Reef Blower. No, I mean, it would have to be a fundamentally different show, but no, I don't think SpongeBob would have been a silent show. I don't think so. Because of all the stuff about it, like the Krusty Krab or all of these, like, you need speech for that, you know? Like, Tom and Jerry as a show is designed to be silent, you know? It's designed to be like that. Because it's, Tom and Jerry's just designed to be silent. Like, that's just the way it is. I don't think SpongeBob... Unless SpongeBob were designed from the ground up to be silent. In which case, I don't think there would be a Krusty Krab. If SpongeBob were designed from the ground up to be a silent show, I'm pretty sure it would focus a lot more on, like, nature and, like, maybe, like, jellyfishing stuff. I feel like there'd be a lot of, like, jellyfishing stuff. Wait. I can't hit the... Oh, I get it. Okay. So that has to go away. Interesting. There is a whole demographic of millennials and Gen Z audience who grew up with SpongeBob and loves Dungeons & Dragons. I wouldn't put it past Nick to greenlight it. You're right, though. The special did everything already. Yeah, I guess if it was specifically about Dungeons & Dragons, because that is kind of what you said in your initial comment. Like, if it was not just that it's medieval SpongeBob, but it's like Dungeons & Dragons, I guess I could see it, you know? Like, I mean... Again, like, if anything is done well, it's done well, you know? Very few things are ruined by their concept alone. It could happen. Like, there are some things where conceptually they just do not work. That's what I said about Nosferatu episode. Is just conceptually, like, it just does not work. Like, there's no way you can write it and, like, make it good. It's not a matter of, like, oh, they could have just made better writing choices. It just fundamentally did not work. But when I talk about, like, something like the My Leg sequel episode, that's just bad because they wrote it poorly. They could have done a good My Leg episode if they focused on different things. What got you into YouTube? What got me into YouTube? What got me into watching YouTube or doing YouTube? What got me into watching YouTube was actually, I would say, was probably MadPat. Probably Game Theory. Back in like 2014. That's the first YouTuber I remember like watching. Was my cousin. Showed me Game Theory. So that would have been the first time I got into watching like a YouTuber. I probably watched YouTube before that. But like stuff like watching like, I don't know, like silly videos like Mario Frustration. Or like, you know, videos of like Pokemon ROM hacks, you know, back in like 2010 or something. Like that was probably more when I first started watching YouTube, but like got me into the idea of like a YouTuber. That. What made me start making YouTube videos was just the idea that there was some stuff that I wanted to say about certain subjects, mainly gaming and movies and TV shows. That I just think not everyone says, you know? I just think I have different unique takes on both video games and TV shows that I wanted to put out into the world. And that's really the main reason why I wanted to become a YouTuber. I also think, because I'm in the arts, I'm actually very experienced in acting, musical theater, and a little bit of like film acting. And I think that this is a good way for me to try and build myself up to get more into that I'm like someone who performs and someone who talks. I also want to be a writer, TV writer. And I think all of this stuff kind of goes hand in hand with the YouTube and all that. So that's kind of what got me into YouTube, both what got me into watching YouTube and what got me into doing YouTube. The bosses are really well designed in this game. Take, for example, Ernie from Sesame Street. Jim Henson voiced him before his passing in 1990. Then for 3 years, Ernie was silent until Steve Whitmire took over. Isn't that right, Jackson? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. He was... I think... I don't know. I don't know the actual facts on that. Was that true? He was silent for 3 years because they were wary of replacing him? I mean... Jim Henson was probably tough because Jim Henson wasn't just the voice of Kermit and of Ernie. He created the Muppets. Like, so like that's even bigger, is like he voiced the character that he made. Not to say that it's not sad when any voice actor, any prolific voice actor passes, but that sounds like it makes sense. Like almost like they were like processing it, and had, especially in Sesame Street, because Sesame Street is for kids. Like they were like processing his loss, and then eventually they were like, it's time to have Ernie have a voice. That sounds right. I don't know if it's true. I don't know everything about it. Fact check anything. If I'm talking about something on stream, if we're just talking, it's basically like I'm having a conversation with someone. You should fact check anything I say. Or anything that is said in chat, because I don't know for sure. If I talk about something in a video, I fact check it. Not that I've never gotten anything wrong. I could. Ask around for ideas. I'm only 27 years old, so the dude has been voicing SpongeBob as long as I've been alive. Hey, we're the same age. I'm 27, but I was born before SpongeBob aired. SpongeBob came out in 99, and I was born in 98. So I'm technically older than SpongeBob by very little. I am older than SpongeBob, though. What is this ask around for ideas? What's going on? Can I just go to the next level?
Can't help you two.
Oh, 2, 3. What?
SpongeBob, Patrick, great to see ya. I have the ultimate jellyfishing challenge and a reward for...
Hey, Felix.
Oh, this is just a side quest. I don't need a side quest right now. I want to do the main quest. Jellyfish hunter costume. Oh, I should wear a costume. I'm just regular old SpongeBob.
I ended up having a good time. Poor Daddy, though. He didn't
Oh, what should I dress as? I have a bunch. Oh, look, I have the... They have the... Ghost, Jellyfish Hunter. I like the glasses. Swashbuckler, Ghost. Oh yeah, I like Swashbuckler because I have the Swashbuckler right behind me. I don't want to knock it over. You could buy a new costume. Cuddly Crab. Let's be the Cuddly Crab for now. What about Patrick? Oh, this is Naked Patrick. Mermaid Patrick. Copy of the month. SpongeBob dressed Patrick. What do we want? Do we want SpongeBob dressed Patrick or do we want Naked Patrick? Do we want to be Naked Patrick? Nah, I don't need to be Naked Patrick. I'll be SpongeBob dressed Patrick. Oh, Karen was named after Steven Hillenburg's wife? I didn't know that. Did you know Squidward's voice actor got a DUI? When? Really?
I got you. Hey.
Oh, I gotta stop talking to Larry. I know he always wants me to do a race. Clancy Brown is in his late 60s. So Clancy Brown is younger than Roger Bumpus. That's so funny. So Squidward's voice actor is older than Mr. Krabs, even though Mr. Krabs is the older character. No, you skipped the Felix cutscene? No, we just talked to him. I skipped his cutscene?
Hey, did you catch all the jellyfish yet?
We are.
I didn't expect anything.
Let me see. Wow, a lot of chats today. Hey, great to hear from you guys. I want to see if I can actually respond to everyone. I might not respond to everything. You did a video about the Flying Dutchman roles in the cartoon. Have you ever considered making a video about Dutchman's roles in video games? You know, that's actually not such a bad idea. I could totally consider that. How many video games has he been in? I think Tom Kenny wants SpongeBob to live on in his will. I don't think he owns the rights to the character, though. I mean, does he? I don't think he owns the rights to the character. I think Nickelodeon owns the rights to the character. So I don't think it's in his will. Unless he has some kind of ownership of the character. I don't know. Like, maybe that is... Maybe he does... Maybe he has partial ownership of the character. But that doesn't sound right. Doug Tenapel is a great example of somebody who's incredibly talented but a complete moron. Ooh, what does he do, and what is he a moron about? Curious to hear.
Stop to.
Now it's SpongeBob.
Yeah, ultimate cook-off.
Oh, goody!
SpongeBob! We don't...
I know just what to do, Sandy.
Talk to Sandy. Yeah, I just want to get to the next level. Let's find a spot. I gotta get rid of the side quests. I always have like the side quests on the screen. I don't want them all around here. Tom puts all his heart into every SpongeBob line. Who can match that passion and energy? So
I got it, Sandy. I got it.
there are lots of talented actors out there that could, for sure. Not to say that there isn't something unique about Tom, that he's not incredibly talented, because he super is. There are lots of talented people out there who definitely can. It won't be exactly the same, but maybe that's all right that there's something different. Yeah, there's talented people out there, you know, in the new generation too. But I do agree, he puts all his heart in every SpongeBob line. But so will the new voice actor, ideally. nobody could do Tom Kenny's laugh. Someone could impersonate it. You'd be surprised. You know what's funny? The thing about replacing a voice actor like that is you do need more. This was a big thing with the Rick and Morty when they replaced Justin Roiland with Rick and Morty, where people kept saying like, oh, they should get this impersonator, this like TikToker. And I think what people don't understand when they would say that is that there is like, I get what you're saying. Like, can you do Tom Kenny's laugh? Like, it's actually not just, there's definitely some impressionist out there that can just do SpongeBob's laugh. You know, like probably a lot of people. But is that person also a talented voice actor? And when I say actor, I mean someone who knows how to put certain inflections and certain feelings into stuff. You can impersonate a character, but to actually act as them is different. And that's why I think with the Rick and Morty replacements, what is good about them is not just that they can impersonate the characters, but they can actually act as them, which is something that a regular impersonator can't do, and it's also something that AI can't do.
The old geezers are to blame. Their fighting's making everything topsy-turvy, even the weather.
But Sandy, how are we gonna get to the Fry Cook Museum?
Let's use these boys.
Can you do a video on Roman mythology in SpongeBob SquarePants? That is a great idea. I need to research a lot of Roman mythology. I will keep that in mind. It probably wouldn't happen anytime soon. But that is an amazing idea for a video. That is such a good idea. Oh my goodness, that is such a good idea for a video. I would need to do some heavy research though. I don't really know all that much about Roman mythology. But that is a fantastic idea. Also, remember to like the stream. Oh, hey, we got ourselves a super chat. Hey, thank you so much. From Celibate Saihara. Thank you so much for the $10. Hey there, I was wondering what your thoughts were about the cost of AI data centers outpacing any profits the AI makes. I think it's unlikely we see the use of AI replacing talent in media-wide scale. Yeah, you know, I am going to answer your question because it's a very good question. But if you are interested in that subject, I actually yesterday I went over the subreddit AI Wars, and clearly you must be a fan of mine. You just gave me a super chat, so you must like me. Thank you so much, by the way. If you like my thoughts on AI, I just did what was it? If anyone was there, was it like an hour and a half, like 2 hours? I went through the subreddit AI Wars. It was so fun. I had so much fun doing it. So I said a lot of stuff on that. So you should go and subscribe to, it's just called Fanelli. It's linked in here. It's where I put these live streams once I edit them all together. That'll probably come out on Wednesday, an edited version of that, so you can go and see my live stream. Anyway, I'll answer your question right now, too. What my thoughts are about the cost of AI data centers outpacing any profits AI makes. Yeah, so obviously I think that AI is bad. Not on an economic, not from an economic lens. I understand that it isn't profitable, that is like an issue with it, is that they're making this thing because they're trying to build hype. You know, they're trying to build this like idea of this thing that's going to like replace the workers and make life better or whatever. And it's not, it's all a lie. It's all nonsense. All that sort of stuff. Your thoughts are about the cost of AI data centers. So, yeah, I think a big problem with the data centers is mostly just how they affect the communities in which they are built in. Because a lot of times there's like the water arguments. You know, people talk about like, oh, AI uses a lot of water. And I don't even know the facts on that because it's just there's so much like misinformation around that. If I had to guess, it's probably true. It uses a lot of water. It's bad for the environment. I'm sure that's true. I'm not going to say it 100% is because I don't want to spread misinformation, even if it's better for my side or my narrative, because I believe in the truth above that. So I'm not going to say it 100% does. But something I do know about AI data centers is that they do very negatively affect the communities in which they are built in, just because of the kinds of things that they are. Like there's this one that's near like the Grok one, and it's like making a whole, there's like a whole town where like they can't open their windows because it like smells so bad, or they can't open their window because it smells so bad. So I would say it's just another indication of that this thing is being invested in, and there really isn't an output of it. And I think, and I'll get to the spiciest part of this, the reason that there is so much investment in AI, even though it doesn't make a profit, is because it's not about the profit. The reason that there's all of this investment in this stuff is because the people who are investing in it and the people who are making it, they want to see a shift in the status quo. They have, especially, and I'll talk about it mostly in terms of the arts, people who make AI have a contempt for the arts. Because the arts are about freedom of expression. The arts are about sharing perspectives. It's like what I say in a lot of my videos, where the arts is all about, I usually say the phrase teaching lessons, but it also more so means like sharing your perspective. And usually when you share perspectives, when enough people share perspectives, especially in the arts, a lot of times the perspectives that reign supreme, the perspectives that hit the hardest, are the ones that are focused on equality, are the ones that are focused on being respectful of people, and are the ones that are about challenging the perspectives that challenge power structures are very common in media. So if you have something like AI diluting media, making media overall weaker, and people being more likely to accept that weaker media just by virtue of the fact that AI can make stuff so much faster than a human ever could, and diluting that media, that means that there's less out there that is challenging the idea of power. And I think that's more valuable to an investor than their actual money, if that makes sense. I think that's a more like conspiratorial, like, mustache twirling, ooh, they're all evil and planned. I think another way to look at it is that the idea of AI is that it's a messiah complex. So we talked about this yesterday when I went over AI Wars. Again, subscribe to Fanelli, link in the description. I will be putting out the full stream reaction where I talked about AI Wars, where I went and I looked at all the different perspectives on there, which was very fun and very funny. But something that I talked about in that was that a lot of AI things have like they're like a magic wand, or they're a star, or they're represented by things that represent magic. And I think that that's kind of what people want to believe that AI is. They want to believe that it's magic. And that's why I call it a messiah complex. It's a messiah complex because we believe that it's going to do this thing. It's going to make us not have to work anymore. We see this with, this is what the nonsense that Elon Musk is saying. Saying, oh, well, in AI, with AI, you don't have to save for retirement. You won't have to save for retirement. You will. It's not going to solve the thing that saves for retirement, that needs you to save for retirement. There are things that could solve saving for retirement. It is actual addressing of, wealth-related issues and actually addressing things like income inequality. That will actually help with people saving for retirement. But AI is not going to. And it's quite telling that someone like Elon Musk would want to obfuscate the actual solutions to something like income inequality and say, oh, well, like AI is going to fix it. Because it's a messiah complex. It's an idea that this thing is going to do stuff for us. It's an idea that, and it goes even deeper than that. I was talking a bit when people are saying, oh, is it going to replace the SpongeBob voice actors? There are people who, they have relatives die and they try to have an AI replace them, a chatbot that acts like the dead person. There was this messed up court case in, I don't know what it was. It was like a drunk driving death court case where they used AI to have the guy who got killed, like, to make it, they generated a video of the guy who got killed saying, like, I forgive you to, like, the guy who died. And they used it in court. It was a part of the... It was a part of, like, it's like, hey, judge of this court case, you should factor this into your decision of sentencing. That's messed up, man. Like, that's so messed up. That's some crazy stuff. All right, your little thing here. That's super messed up. So it gives us this idea that this thing is going to solve problems that can't actually be solved. That's why I call it a Messiah complex. And because of that, people are willing to invest. They're willing to invest in a way that is very short-sighted. And the last thing that I will point out, which is the most boring thing, is that it's just kind of a way how our economics work, is that people don't want to be the last one in on something. AI is a big buzzword, and people want to invest in it because it's the big thing. And a lot of people don't want to be the one who's not investing with it if they're in the company of investing it. So even though it might seem like, oh, it's a bubble, it's going to get messed up, as of right now, it's the thing that makes the most money. And a lot of these businesses, they operate on when is the line green? When does the line grow up? So, yeah, so with AI, it's a problem with how we view things that will save us, will help us, and it's a problem with how we view our economy in general. Yeah, I hope that answered your question. Went on for very long. Thank you again for the super chat. Really appreciate it. How do I get back out of here? Ah, here we go. What are some other... What chat? Where was I in the chat? People say Krusty Sponge is a metaphor for Nickelodeon milking SpongeBob's cash cow dry. Do you think it was intentional? Yes and no. It is a metaphor for how a character can get really big, and it definitely was a commentary on where SpongeBob as a franchise was going, but I don't think it was an idea of where milking the cash cow dry. In fact, I would think that if you're the person who's behind SpongeBob, if you're making SpongeBob, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, like when other people have a big character, they milk it dry like how I'm satirizing in this episode, but we're doing it right. Is what I would think would be the official position. So yes, it is a commentary on that, but I don't think it's saying, oh yeah, we're like that. I don't think that's what it's saying. Good question there. If you're older than SpongeBob, I think that means you're older than Disney's Animal Kingdom, or at least very close in age. Huh, interesting. Roger Bumpus got a DUI a couple years ago. Oh, it wasn't even a long time ago. And people freaked out like he was going to lose the role. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how serious it is. I don't really know what exactly happened, so I'm not going to pass judgment unless I know everything. Or know most. Dutchman is in most of the games. Huh. Is he in most? I know he's in Super Sponge. He's a boss in Super Sponge. Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, obviously. He's a boss in Battle for Bikini Bottom for the GameCube and PlayStation, but not in the GBA. He can't be in every game, though. Most of the games. He didn't say every game. He said most of the games. Yesterday's stream went really in depth about that. Yeah, talk about the AI. Man, that was so fun. Yeah, I want to do probably more stuff like that. Subreddit stuff. It was really a lot of fun. Man, was that one funny. The news story. There was a news story I was reading yesterday. It was about a guy who ate AI generated images that was in like an art installation. And it was a really nuanced story, actually. Like, it actually had a lot of... like, I read the whole story, and it was like... It was not what you expect. Anyway, you should follow Fanelli. Go... link in the description. Go subscribe. It should be up on Wednesday. Or if you're watching this on Fanelli, then it's probably already up. But it was very funny. Real talk, though, your honesty is so refreshing. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you. Authenticity is like my most important element of myself. Is that I think as a creator, the one thing that you never want to lose is your authenticity. To really be what you are. Like, people will even get mad at certain things that I'm like really passionate about, you know. And I get it. Like, sometimes I got to be like, you know, I don't want my stuff to veer too far away from talking about movies and TV shows, because that's what I really care about the most. But also, movies and TV shows can be a very broad subject. There's a lot of different things, because movies and TV shows talk about everything. They talk about how you should be, you know, how you should act and stuff. So you end up going into these deeper subjects. And I like to be honest about those things. And not all the time do people like it. But definitely my AI stuff is a very big part of the channel because it directly affects the art so much.
So we can get back to the floating patty.
There you go.
Oh, now I'm sure I'm coming down with something. I'm all tired.
How would you rank the SpongeBob GBA games you've played? SpongeBob movie game, best. Battle for Bikini Bottom GBA, second. Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, third. Super Sponge, last. I gotta play more of them. Hasn't ChatGPT also been linked multiple times to people ending their own lives? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of issues with that. I need to look more into that to actually really, really intelligently discuss it. Obviously, that's a very hard thing to accuse a thing of when someone has very deep mental illness, but, I mean, obviously you should not use the thing. You shouldn't use the thing at all, but to use it as a therapist is laughable. I can
feel my toes.
Watch your step, Patrick. It's a long way back down.
I won't name the YouTuber, but they basically said learn AI tools or be replaced. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I think the exact opposite. I think if you use AI tools, you will fail as a YouTuber. I think if you're a YouTuber and you use AI, you're going to do worse. Because the only audience that you're going to attract if you're a YouTuber is people who are okay with AI. So, like, if you're like me, like, let's say you're someone who doesn't really care about AI. You're just like the median viewer, and you don't really care that much if something has AI or doesn't. You could probably still enjoy my videos. Like, you might not really want to engage with my anti-AI video because you might be like, well, I watch Sponge Truths and I, like, don't care or whatever. But, like, that median person, I'm not exactly alienating anybody by being anti-AI, but as soon as you use AI, you're alienating every single person who cares. Who cares if you use AI. If someone cares that, and which is a lot of people, by the way, like, that's not no one. So actually you're actively hurting yourself if you use AI in your work. It doesn't help you that much, like, at all. Whatever you think it's going to help you with, you would probably just be fine. Wrong button. You would probably be fine. And, like, also, if you're not, like, a good enough writer that you feel like you need to use ChatGPT, you're not ready to be a YouTuber. You just aren't ready. having that crutch is not, it's not doing you any favors. You just aren't ready. You're just doing it's like you're just doing a thing that you aren't ready to do. So no, I think it's very much the other way around. I think it's the people who don't use AI, who completely abstain from it, people who are like me, are the ones who are going to work well, whereas the people who like hopped on the hype train and started to use it are the ones that are going to have a lot of trouble getting their credibility back when it comes time for them to not feel like it, or they're just gonna get the lowest common denominator audience. And hey, that could be a lot of people. I mean, like, look at Sponge Truths has 100. Oops, something just fell outside. Look at Sponge Truths gets like 100K subscribers from like making AI stuff. Those are all people who don't care though. Those aren't valuable subscribers. Those aren't like loyal audience people. Like, they just aren't. Where at least like the people who watch my videos are people who are at least going to be like, are going to be loyal to my content. Like, you think the 130K subscribers of Sponge Truths are like, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Sponge Truths AI channel. They're people who don't care. They don't think about what they watch, or they were tricked, but they're not audience members who really actively think about what they view. And that's the audience that you are cultivating if you use AI anywhere in your content. Anywhere in your content that's known. You could just lie. You could just be dishonest and do like first draft AI, second draft thing and try to get it all out of there and get one over. But then you're just a liar. You're just a dishonest person. And that's not going to be good for your success, that you're some dishonest creator, that you're trying to trick your audience into thinking that you made something when you had a computer make it. Like, is that really the creator you want to be? And if so, I think that you are better off not being on the platform, because the media landscape as we know it is worse for having your presence if you're that kind of creator. But yeah, so I would say I take the exact opposite perspective of that YouTuber. That YouTuber is a dope, whoever they are. You can name who it is, by the way, if you'd like. It's okay. I could say who I disagree with. Maybe I know who they are, and I can rip on them more. Thank you for answering my question. It was really well put together. I hope to share my perspective in my own work and hopefully do some good. Hey, that's awesome. I wish you well. I wish you the best. And yeah, I'll probably, as I do these streams, I'd love to hear, yeah, people who are working on their own stuff. What is this level called? The song is so good. It's called Jellyfish Fields. It's like snowy jellyfish fields. Interesting. Need to lean back a little bit. My back is starting to hurt. I need a new chair. When I first played Titans of the Tide, I had a chair that was a little more comfortable, but it had a big back. It didn't look good. Yeah, my back is hurting.
Hey! I see Sandy's clothes, but no Sandy.
Uh-oh. Where'd she go?
I have 3 live streams up on my channel, clowning on AI with a bingo. That's funny.
Let's keep climbing.
That's cool. Yeah, share anyone else who's creators. Share some stuff about your process. Any questions you have for me, someone who's been doing it a while. If you're like more just starting out and stuff. I love to help other creators. What is this? Cart? Can I pick up the cart? Oh, there we go. Oh. I get it. I get it. I get the deal. Oh. And then it blows it up. That was clever. How do you feel about Ave? He likes the atmosphere of classic SpongeBob, critiques modern SpongeBob. I watch Ave a lot, actually. I'm a pretty frequent viewer. I've talked about him a bit in streams. I overall like his content. I feel very positively towards it. I like that he does a lot of anti-AI stuff. I think his best videos are ones like that, where it's like the atmosphere of classic SpongeBob. Or I think his best video is when he talked about the scene in Life of Crime. Or wait, which one is it? Life of Crime? No, Doing Time. Doing Time is the one where SpongeBob and Patrick think they stole a balloon. He did a video that was just a whole breakdown of the scene where they're in the wilderness, and like SpongeBob eats the chocolate, and he says like how it's like the funniest like minute and a half of television ever, and like it's such a good breakdown of that scene and why that scene is funny. I really like that. Some of his videos can be a bit conversational, a bit recappy at times, you know, I would say. Not too much, I don't know, like, not too much, but definitely a bit unstructured. And I feel like he'd do a lot better if he had, like, stronger editing or better audio and stuff. Like, I think he's big enough that he should really start considering that stuff. He's bigger than me. He's way bigger than me. But, like, he should have, like, the footage of the episodes, you know, like if you look at my videos, you know, my videos are very, the way that they're made, they have like the videos, like the video slides in, you know, it's all very consistent in the way that it looks. I have graphics pop in. His is just very slideshow-esque, like the things just like appear on screen or the stuff like that. And it doesn't have a lot of that pacing that I put in a thing. Now, I mean, I don't know his entire life story. Like I am someone who's trained in that stuff. I was a, you know, professional, like I've done professional editing in other contexts before I did YouTube. You know, I've done a lot of stuff very professionally where I have these skills. I don't know if he has access to it. I don't know how he knows, you know, and I don't know what his situation is on his channel of what he's able to make. But I do think that if he is able to work on the editing in certain ways, I think it would help his content a lot. And I say this as someone who likes his content and thinks that he's a pretty talented guy. I am mostly a shorts creator, and all creations are done by me. Nice. I'm trying to do some more shorts. It's hard because I'm a long-form creator to do more shorts. I really would like to do more shorts to just get out there a little more. I'd say a big struggle for me when I do shorts is that they just take a very long time to make. And as opposed to my long-form videos, like, I just get more output, I get more attention, like, on my long-form videos currently, but I am trying to do shorts myself. What kind of shorts do you make? Have you ever heard of Carol Spinney? He was an incredible puppeteer who voiced Big Bird from 1969 up till his passing in 2019. The whole time? Wow, that long? Was Big Bird for 50 years? I did not know that Big Bird was Big Bird for 50 years. That's crazy. Well, it must be some talent. Do you have a SpongeBob episode that you would consider a guilty pleasure? One that you know isn't good, but it's still fun. Honestly, I kind of felt that way about Bubbletown that I just did a video on. And I didn't say that in the video, but I did kind of feel that way. Where I did find, like, you know, SpongeBob's facial expressions and, like, I found it very cute as an episode, but it had no story, so it deserved all the criticisms I gave it. But I did have kind of a guilty pleasure watching Bubbletown. I felt that way with Bizarro Bottom too, where like just seeing the Bizarro stuff, like that is a guilty pleasure thing where it's like I know this has no story, but like I do find it interesting. I did mention that in the video. That was something that I felt about that episode. Oh, I got stuck. I disagree. Ave is popular because of his style. You think Ave is popular because the stuff is more like off the cuff, that it's not as like highly edited as mine? I could kind of see that. It's kind of like how, you know, I do get that perspective. It's kind of like how I like my videos. Oh,
Do you
Patrick's
mean
done.
done as in grilled to perfection,
I gotta
like
get that
Rocky
perspective
Daddy?
because like I have like pretty professional editing for my videos. I edit all my videos. Me and my fiance edit all my videos. I use like Adobe Premiere. I have like specific editing, you know, techniques and all that sort of stuff. I make it very consistent, very professional. But like my videos
Sandy needs us.
are very basic if you compare them to like game theory or film theory, like if you compare them to like those big channels. But like also like those people have hired editors who have like salaries, you know, they you know they spend all day editing. They have 8-hour days of editing. That is not a thing that I could reasonably do. I could make a video that is edited in the same way that a MatPat video is, or I guess game theory, film theory. I guess MatPat doesn't do it anymore, but that is edited at that level. But then I'd be able to make like one video a month, you know, and like that's not good. You know, I want to keep my output. And at the same time, if I did make videos like that where they were really highly edited, like game theory, it would probably be more like, well, that's kind of for a different sort of audience, you know. So I in a way I kind of agree with you that like for people who like Ave, it's like, well, they don't really need to see the heavily edited video. They just want to hear a guy talk about SpongeBob and share his opinions. And the fact that he's going, you know, oh, so we're talking about, you know, this one modern SpongeBob episode. You know, I think it wasn't this. You know, the way that he talks, the way that I'm talking right now. Like maybe there's a reason that people enjoy watching me stream in the way that I'm talking right now is very similar to that. So I totally do see that perspective. You're doing great with the YouTube channel and your commentary on SpongeBob movies and creative content in general. I respect a lot of your takes. And you like some of the episodes Ave don't? Oh, do I? Oh, yeah, because I like Tango Tangle and Ave doesn't. Are there any others that I like and Ave doesn't? I haven't seen all of his videos. I know he did Pigskin Pearl, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch his Pigskin Pearl video. But I know he covered it, and I spoke positively on Pigskin Pearl. Did he not like it? I know we both liked Go Fetch. We both spoke positively of Go Fetch. Yeah, what are some episodes that he likes that I don't? He probably would disagree with me on the bully, right? That's what some people were saying. Someone said that where Ave would disagree with me about the bully. Hey, maybe you could reply to it. I'd love to see that. If you did a video on me, talked about the bully and disagreed with me, I'd love to hear that. Even if he disagrees with me, I would love to hear his thoughts on what I said about it. Because again, I respect his opinion and I think he's a good YouTuber. Will you ever do a theory about SpongeBob or other series video? I'm not really a theory channel. I've never done a SpongeBob theory. I have done theories on my gaming channel. Like one of my most popular videos on my gaming channel actually is a theory video, funnily enough, which is about Donkey Kong Bonanza. I have not done it for SpongeBob. I don't think I'm super interested in doing theory videos, mostly because what I talk about in terms of SpongeBob is... Uh-oh, guess I'll die. What I talk about with SpongeBob mostly is... like story stuff, and theories aren't really story stuff. Like, even when I did my video on my gaming channel about Donkey Kong Bonanza, I did a theory at the end, but it wasn't like a theory video. It was talking about the game. And like I talked about like how the story of Donkey Kong is so strange because it's been 30 years that like here's a theory of how it could make sense. So I guess I would do a SpongeBob theory video if I did it like that, where I was discussing like almost like an in-universe explanation of something that is important to understand about the writing of the show. But yeah. Ave wasn't big on Pigskin Pearl. Ave didn't like it. It was a negative review. I guess the title was like, did a Pearl special for some reason. I guess the title was pretty negative. I just wasn't sure if he really disliked the episode. Ave didn't vibe with SpongeBob Trash Pants. Okay. Because I thought SpongeBob Trash Pants was like really good. So like what you're saying is like he didn't hate it, but like he didn't think it was as like great of an episode as I did. Because I thought that SpongeBob Trash Pants was like a really good episode, like top tier episode. He likes Truth or Square. Wait, Ave likes Truth or Square? Really? I don't think I've ever heard him talk. Why would he like Truth or Square? Truth or Square has like all of the things that he doesn't like about SpongeBob. What does he like about Truth or Square? That's so crazy. I gotta look for that video. He likes. Does he talk about? Does he have a whole video about Truth or Square? I'm surprised I haven't seen it. That's crazy. I did not know that. He liked Truth or Square, huh? If Ave likes the bully, then something is wrong with it. I don't think something would have to be wrong with you to like the bully. That was kind of the point of my video, was that the bully was a really funny episode. I don't think something would be wrong with him to like it. I think that he would probably just have an argument for why he thinks that the episode succeeded. And an argument for why my perspective of how it failed is not correct. That would be my guess. I don't think there'd have to be anything wrong with him. Truth or Square is the newest video. Oh, Ave just posted the Truth or Square video. Like today? Or like yesterday? Okay. So that explains why I've never seen it. Oh, he doesn't like Truth or Square. That's a lie. I guess you didn't Truth or Square, huh? He told a lie. Which episode is Truth or Square again? It's the one where they get stuck in the Krusty Krab vents and there's like the whole B plot where Patchy the Pirate harasses a bunch of celebrities. I did a video on it. It's actually a video that I tried to edit like Game Theory. It's the most like over edited of a video I've ever done. It's how I learned that I didn't really want to do that kind of editing. I would think Ave would have liked Fish Called Sandy by pre-movie reference atmosphere, but I guess not. Oh yeah, he didn't like A Fish Called Sandy. I forgot his argument. I don't know what his argument was against it, so I wouldn't really be able to speak on it intelligently. But that is true. He did not like A Fish Called Sandy. We did not need the celebrities in SpongeBob. Well, it's because it was just a celebrity cameo for the sake of being there, you know? You can do a good celebrity cameo. I mean, see David Hasselhoff in this game. Not even just in the first SpongeBob movie, also in this game. Have you seen the episode Fiasco from Season 8? Refresh my memory. What happens in it? Perhaps. I probably would have seen up to Season 8. Alright, which way am I going here? I'm a little lost. I thought Truth or Square was the Jellyfish Field Highway. No. That's SpongeBob's Last Stand? Yeah, SpongeBob's Last Stand. Am I missing something here? That's all lit up. Shouldn't this open? Wait, this should totally open, right? Am I missing something? Is something wrong here? Truth or Square is the one with the fake wedding, right? Yeah, that was Truth or Square. Wait, hold on. What am I missing here? All of those are lit up. That means that this door should open. Oh! I have to hit the things. That was not clear. Now it's open. So I have to activate them and hit them. A Fish Called Sandy's. Oh, is a mixed bag. Ave said it was a mixed bag. Gotcha. I guess I kind of called it a mixed bag too. But I didn't criticize its story. I didn't think its story. I mean, nothing's without flaw, but I didn't think its story had glaring flaws. A Fish Called Sandy. Its flaws were only in the fact that I thought that there wasn't really any reason for the change in art style. Oh, wrong way. In Fiasco, Plankton steals a piece of art, but do you think it would work better if it was Squidward stealing a piece of art instead? I feel like I remember that episode. If I've seen it, I saw it once a very long time ago. So I can't really give you a proper answer. Yeah, the change in art style was a surprising thing. Vincent Waller said not to expect it to be the norm. I wouldn't think so. I think that would be a pretty big... That'd be a big deal. Change the whole art style. I think that's... And I don't mind the modern art style. There's some beautiful episodes. I mean, SpongeBob Trash Pants, man. That's a beautiful episode.
What was I thinking? I can't leave Patrick alone here.
Can you imagine an episode that ends with Squidward eating a bunch of AI art? Now I can. That would be hilarious. Oh my goodness. If I get hired on the SpongeBob writing staff, can that be like the first episode that I pitch? Be like, guys, I have an idea. Because they did an anti-AI episode. Smart Artificial Intelligence. But they've been mixed on that, right? Haven't they done like ads? Like they had like an ad where like they used AI to like generate like Mr. Krabs or something. Like or like there was a thing with a handsome Squidward. Like they haven't been good with it. I think. I wouldn't accuse them of that. I actually wouldn't know. I don't want to spread misinformation. But I know they haven't used AI in an episode. To my knowledge. A bunch of people say, like, there was a guy who had actually a pretty strong argument that I don't think is true. But there was a guy who had a really strong argument for why they thought that Curse of the Weredoodle was written by AI. I don't think it's true. I think that it would be harder to write an episode with AI and lie about it than to just have a writer that's on your staff write the episode, because that's a conspiracy. Like if there's a modern SpongeBob episode that was written by AI, they'd have to lie about it. It'd be a conspiracy. So you'd have to get a bunch of people to shut their mouths about it, especially people who are passionate writers who are having their job taken from them. I don't think you'd be able to hide it. I think you'd be better off just paying the writers to write the episode like you always have. So I do not believe that they've used AI in the actual show. But yeah, Smart Artificial Intelligence. I might want to do a video on that. I want to look into what is like the Nickelodeon or Paramount. Like, what is their stance with AI? Like, should we be worried? Or are they kind of against it, you know? Because I know that there was the thing before the Search for SquarePants, the Ninja Turtles. There was something that was like kind of anti-AI-ish with that. Oh!
No thanks.
There was something that was kind of anti-AI with that. And then Smart Artificial Intelligence is absolutely an anti-AI episode. The message of that episode is that you can't use AI to replace... I mean, it was Perch Perkins, the news reporter, but it's same thing. You can't use AI to replace artists. You know, you can't use them to replace performance.
Can I bring my ice cream?
Absolutely.
Yay! Let's go find Sandy.
Truth or Square was a mixed bag based on what most folks said. Yeah, I think overwhelmingly negatively of Truth or Square. I don't even think of it as a mixed bag. I think it has like no redeeming qualities actually. Truth or Square. I don't think there's a single redeeming quality to it. I mean, maybe if you pressed me, it's like, did I actually not laugh at a single joke? Probably not, but like, I'd say it has at least very little. I like how at the end of SpongeBob Trash Pants, SpongeBob had a Squidward type ending, which was rare. Yeah, SpongeBob did get punished at the end. That is true. It did kind of. That is a very good observation. It's kind of like the end of like Keep Bikini Bottom Beautiful. Squidward had to do community service. Oh no! Wait, I'm not thinking. I'm thinking of. What's the episode where security system takes control of Squidward's house? What's the actual episode? Good Neighbors, Good Neighbor Club, or is it just called Good Neighbors? It's the end of that one where he has to do community. He has to do community service, even though SpongeBob and Patrick were in the house. You know that old one. I find that's a security system. Too funny. What's your opinion on the writing for SpongeBob versus the Patty Gadget, aka the Dr. Seuss style SpongeBob episode? It's actually not a Dr. Seuss. I get why you say that, Dr. Seuss. It's folklore. It's a poem, which is also like Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. It's not inspired by Dr. Seuss. It's just that both Dr. Seuss and that SpongeBob episode were inspired by the same thing, which is folklore poems. It's based on John Henry. John Henry, the man who beat the machine. Yeah, the idea of obviously that episode and John Henry, the poem, were made before AI. It just goes to show that the principle of like not replacing human beings with machines is something that we already believe in. You know, we already believed in that before AI was there to actually be a problem. You know, even if you look at Selling Out with the, you know, Krabby Patties made by a machine with the, or Neptune Spatula with King Neptune making all the patties with magic, you know, like we've already, people were anti-AI before AI even existed. We were against the principle, you know. It's just this is a thing that applies to the negative perspective that we can do now. But I think it was a good take on the fairy tale, not fairy tale, the poem, Tall Tale of John Henry. I thought it was a good way to do it with Krabby Patties and all that. I like the patchy narration. It's also very, like, it is, like, written in its own way. Yeah, good episode. Why couldn't we get a Christmas Carol-esque SpongeBob special?
Hey, SpongeBob!
You know,
my rock from here.
I've heard that before.
Also, chaos, terror.
I wonder what I would think of that. I mean, I think with something like a Christmas Carol parody, or a parody of anything, you gotta have your own take on it. Oh, okay. You gotta have, like, something that's more than just character but does Christmas Carol. And I think maybe the main reason they haven't done that... How do I deal with that wind? And I think maybe the main reason they've never done a SpongeBob Christmas Carol is, like, what would they do more than just Mr. Krabs' Scrooge? You know? If someone's saying that, like, having Krabs as Scrooge... I don't know if someone said it in the chat, but that's basically also Born Again Krabs is basically a Christmas Carol. Like, Born Again Krabs is already SpongeBob's take on a Christmas special. Born Again Krabs is already SpongeBob's take on a Christmas Carol. You know, it's the guy who is greedy. He's you know, facing the idea of death. And a supernatural entity tells him to not be greedy. It's just because SpongeBob is hilarious, you know, and is a comedy. Mr. Krabs just rejects it and then he does learn his lesson at the end. But Born Again Krabs is basically already Christmas Carol, but with SpongeBob. What? Oh, okay. Wait, is that just what do I just have to fight the wind? Is that it? I feel like I have to do something with the wind, right? No? What am I missing here? Patty Gadget had you fooled with the ending first watch. You thought they just killed off SpongeBob? No, I get what you mean. Thought that was just the ending gag. Was SpongeBob is dead. What am I missing here? How do I deal with the wind? Oh, Patrick can go underground. Is that it? The Trash Pants ending is similar to Good Neighbors. Plankton ruined the beach out of revenge. SpongeBob was just trying to keep it clean. They kept focusing on the lifeguard lady. Yeah, except in SpongeBob Trash Pants, they both deserved it because it was reflective of their character flaw. Whereas in Good Neighbors, I haven't seen Good Neighbors in a while, so I'd have to rewatch it to actually see if it's right. But my understanding is, at least according to the guy who said security system takes control of Squidward's house, that Squidward didn't deserve the punishment at the end because he didn't actually do anything wrong. Or he didn't have a character flaw. I like to say character flaw.
Stop that!
How do you feel about Rodeo Days? I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't think it's a scumbag. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I will not make a concrete judgment on it. I remember not liking it when I was a kid. I remember not enjoying it, but I could think differently. There's some episodes that I thought that I wouldn't like, that I found frustrating as a kid that I actually really enjoyed. One that I watched recently that I didn't like very much as a kid is Blackjack. I used to not like the episode Blackjack as a kid, and I watched Blackjack today, and it's hilarious. It holds up. I think Blackjack is a great episode. And I remember not liking it as a kid because of, like, you know, kid reasons. Like, oh, it was frustrating that, you know, Uncle Cap'n Blue wouldn't listen to him and kept making him do his yard work. Like, that frustrated me as a kid. But, like, watching it as an adult, it's like, yeah, it's the joke. Like, that's why it's funny. Or, like, the ending when I was a kid, I was like, oh, why was he, like, so tiny? Like, I didn't like that as a kid. But then I watched it as an adult. I'm like, yeah, that's the lesson, is that Blackjack wasn't anything to be afraid of because they're adults now. Man, I actually regret, because I watched Blackjack today, I regret that I wasn't thinking about that episode when I wrote my Bully video. The Bully really should have covered 3 episodes. It should have been the Bully, Blackjack, and Bulletin Board. Because it was just the Bully and then Bulletin Board. But I really should have had a section in the middle where I talked about Blackjack. And that video totally could have used it too, because it was a little short. You know, I like to have my videos be about 20 minutes now, and that one was a little shorter. And if I had a whole section, a middle section where I talked about Blackjack and how Blackjack covered the idea of not being so afraid of a person who used to bully you, how it was a much better way of doing the same, kind of a similar lesson of the bully. You know, don't actually be afraid of the bully. They might not really hurt you, except it's a more specific episode. Blackjack would have been such a great, it would have been such a great addition to that video. And it's really sad that I just wasn't thinking about it when I wrote the Bully video. Even the comparison with Bulletin Board, I didn't even think of that myself. That was my fiance's idea. She said, because we were actually watching Bulletin Board, because I want to do, I know I keep talking about it, I haven't done it yet. I will do it. It's going to happen. It's going to be a big video. I do want to do a video where I rank every Bubble Bass episode. And so I watched Bulletin Board for that reason, because Bubble Bass is in Bulletin Board. And my fiance was like, remember that episode with the board, with the, like, online bullying? That's a great comparison if you're doing a video on the bully. And I'm like, that's a great idea. But I just wish I'd remembered Blackjack. I didn't remember that Blackjack existed when I wrote that video. Such a missed opportunity. And it's not like I can, like, do it again. Like, I can just make another bully video where I repeat myself, but I add a new section in the middle about Blackjack. Like, the opportunity is just missed now. Kind of sad. Hi, Andy Kishore. Welcome. What were your thoughts on Plain to See from Season 13? I haven't seen it. I've heard that's like people don't like that one because it's similar to Good Neighbors. They think it's unfair to Squidward. I haven't seen it though. Also, why'd Patrick get punished at the end of SpongeGuard on duty? All he wanted was ice cream. He crossed the police line. You don't cross a yellow tape. That's completely irresponsible. I totally think Patrick should have gotten punished at the end. It shows kids that that's not a good idea. You can't run out into the middle of the ocean, especially if you don't know how to swim. Patrick doesn't know how to swim, and he went out in the ocean. They established that Patrick doesn't know how to swim. So the punishment at the end of SpongeGuard on duty is SpongeBob and Patrick are taking swimming lessons. So basically it means if you don't know how to swim, don't go in the water, and if you're going to go in the water, you should take swimming lessons. I think that's very fair. That ending.
Call me Air Sponge. Double trouble.
You forgot my fiance in the chat. You forgot about Blackjack too? Well, that's an old episode. You know, it wasn't exactly on my mind. I don't think it crossed my mind, Blackjack. Like, I don't think the existence of the episode crossed my mind in the entire writing process of, You could do the Bully Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That is hilarious. Nintendo Switch 2 edition. It's the same video, and I just add the Blackjack section in the middle. Oh, there's a bunch of jellyfish here. This is a boss stage. This is so a boss. Would you consider doing a follow-up video with your thoughts on Blackjack in relation to Bully and Bulletin Board? I know it would be a little short. Maybe, you know, maybe I'll do a YouTube short. Maybe I'll do a short. Maybe I'll do a short. So keep a lookout. Just for people who really love the channel, like you saying that right now, who really want to know about, oh, it's Survival of the Idiot Sandy. I think I knew that was a boss in this. I might make it a short. I'll consider making it a short for people who love the channel and would like to hear my thoughts on Blackjack in relationship to the Bully. Bulletin Board made Bubble Bass famous again. P-Star 7 keeps it real. Was Bulletin Board? Yeah, Bulletin Board was the first Bubble Bass episode since season 1, right? Since Fun, right? Or was it Fools in April? I know he's kind of a palette swap in Fools in April. Do you think the best way writers to express a movie for the movie be told by the main character commute? What are you saying? Do you think... Oh, I need to actually attack. What are you saying? Do you think the best way for writers to express the movie for the movie to be told by the main character community? I'm not sure what you're asking. Like a narration, or to be through main character's point of view? Hey man, do you remember me, Jay Mobley? Yeah, I remember you. You've been in the chat before. Welcome back. He forgot about Grandma's Kisses as well. No, I didn't forget about Grandma's Kisses. I just thought it wasn't relevant to the bully. I know that there is bullying in Grandma's Kisses, and I also addressed the bullying of Grandma's Kisses. Actually, I was thinking about doing my bully video when I did my Grandma's Kisses video, because I was talking about how Grandma's Kisses deals with the subject of bullying. And actually how Grandma's Kisses is not an episode about bullying. It's an episode about accepting yourself. So it actually makes the bullying a little harder to parse out. I don't remember exactly what I said. I had my own take on it. I see that now. I thought Larry was mad at SpongeBob for faking being a lifeguard, like Sandy was when he had fake muscles. Patrick suffered enough cramps in that episode, though. I mean, I think Larry was a little mad at SpongeBob, but I think Larry... So in SpongeGuard on Duty, Larry is supposed to represent the responsible adult, you know? And a lot of times, like, SpongeBob and Patrick aren't children, but sometimes in the story, in the narrative, they represent the children. So Larry's like the responsible adult, you know? He's the one who is the lifeguard, who is responsible. So a responsible adult wouldn't, like, punish you for, like, what you did, but they would make you take swimming lessons. Like, I think that is the most realistic thing of what you do.
Underpants
What were your thoughts on All That Glitters from season 4? I remember not liking that episode as a kid. I'd have to watch it again to really talk about it. A lot of crying in that one, right? A lot of SpongeBob crying. A lot of crying. He had a cameo in the episode where Plankton becomes SpongeBob. An inside job? Was Bubble Bass an inside job? No way. Or am I thinking of something else? Is there a different episode where Plankton becomes SpongeBob? Or am I thinking? I'm thinking of Inside Job because I just watched it for my science fiction video. I talk about Inside Job, and Plankton turns into SpongeBob at the end of that. Oh, Bubble Bass was in a mid-season episode when Plankton wanted to catch up. So, it wasn't his first episode. Gotcha. Understood. Smack. Grandma's Kisses, an artist unknown. He bullied SpongeBob more than he did in Little Yellow Book. Would I say he bullied SpongeBob, an artist unknown? I think he was just being like a bad teacher. I guess you could call it bullying. Like, by definition. I guess if a teacher did say that to someone about their art, that would be considered like bullying from a teacher to a student. But I think the point of the episode was that Squidward was insecure because SpongeBob did a good job. And he was a better artist than Squidward. And Squidward couldn't stand that, so he brought him down. So I guess that is bullying, yeah. Even though bullying's not the main theme of the episode. Huh, interesting. I never even thought about it like he bullied SpongeBob. I think about it in Grandma's Kisses. But I guess I never really saw it as that. I saw it more as him being like a mean teacher. What about Fools in April? Yeah, that was definitely bullying. For sure. That episode is more about pranks. Like, if you're a kid and you're thinking about pulling a prank, you should pull a prank like SpongeBob, which is harmless and silly. You shouldn't pull a prank like Squidward that hurts someone. That's the main lesson of that episode, what it's trying to communicate. Communicates it quite well with that. This is a solid idea for a boss fight. I'm trying to think what other episodes characters make up boss fights. Right? It's a really good choice. Especially with like the cold, that like there's like this like snow thing. Oh, I gotta like not die. Is there extra life over here? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Get her. Get her. Got her. Got her. I guess Squidward was just projecting. Yeah, in Artist Unknown. Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean the narrative of the movie. Like, for an African American as the main character, it will be an expression as a grounded narrative, or a obsessive artist, the narrative will be seen. What? I still don't understand what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to ask a pretty strong question. I just don't know. I just don't understand what you're trying to say. For it will be expression as a grounded narrative.
Best treasure ever.
I don't really. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say. I'm a little confused. All right. This is pretty good. Made a lot of progress on this.